This is not a debate podcast. This is not a nerd podcast. Who has the hardest Gotham?
The Penguin was more political.
Okay.
Christopher Walken's was more business-wise, and then you get
Personal, psychological, personal.
yeah, and then you get Catwoman, who's more
Yo,
behind the scenes.
He's the Penguin.
That's good. That's good.
He's kind of big.
What's up with the nose?
She's got a whip.
I
And
wish I could do that as well as you.
That's so good.
Skin tight. I just want to show my appreciation to you by giving you a gift. Hello. What's up, guys? You are watching The Quest, and I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez. Today, we have an esteemed guest, the Royal of Royals, the creator of Batman himself, Bob Kane. Disclaimer, this is not a debate podcast. This is not a nerd podcast. This is to reach the masses. Who I have with me today, and I'll list everyone included, is myself, Robert Dylan Vasquez, one of my closest friends. I'll admit, I don't text you every single day. I don't blow up your phone. Robert Kane, Bob Kane.
Nice to be here, and I will say, when we do talk, we're catching up on a lot of stuff anyway. So
Of course. So, one thing that you like to do that I really don't like
oh my gosh,
is you go, yeah. I'm the Rob, he's the Ert.
you've accepted it at this point.
I do accept it.
The last time we got together, the last time me and you saw each other, you're the one that brought it up. I didn't bring it up. You're the one that brought it up. I just want to say that.
He's the Rob and I'm the Ert. But for the sake of this podcast, I will be Robert and he will be Bob. Behind the scenes, the BTS, you have my co-host, my guy, Hinch. Say hey, Hinch.
What's good in the hood?
And then, making his illustrious debut, you have my guy, my brother from another mother, Imprint Jones.
Y'all gonna make me cry like already, man.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Pretty good.
So, the whole reason we're here today, this is not a debate podcast. This is not a nerd out podcast. We are here to discuss something very serious. Not who takes the gold medal, not who is the best, who is the greatest, who's the GOAT. We are here to discuss who has the hardest Gotham. The hardest, the most difficult, not easy to deal with, whatever. So, I just want to make sure that we are not discussing, oh, well, this had the best continuity. This was closer to the comics. I don't want to hear any of that.
I mean, you'll probably hear that from me.
Sure. And we have things to list and such. But I'm trying to make sure that we reach out to the masses of who had cinematically the hardest Gotham.
That's clean.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There are no rules. There are no guidelines. We're going to start out with who isn't it. Robert?
Who isn't it? Oh, goodness. You can go with Val Kilmer.
As he's wearing the shirt.
Oh, no. Hang on. Val Kilmer didn't.
Have the hardest Gotham?
He had an over-exaggerated Tommy Lee Jones, and he had the box. And he
Fine.
Hang on.
What about those freaks in the fucking alleyway that were like, you know, like the hyper neon fucking.
Let's talk
where they're about to rape that girl in the alley. Then Robin shows up, Bat Boy. Hey man, I wouldn't want my
all
daughter
the
living
neon
there.
lights, all the neon, or hang on.
Hold on. How about half the movie being a rave the whole time through? Like, there's so many flashing lights. I was like,
my brother, chill. He steps out of the elevator to a fucking blast. And then he's greeted by. What is that?
I would give you George Clooney before Val Kilmer.
I'll take that.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
who's
Fine.
next?
Who
Who
didn't
doesn't
have the
have it?
hardest?
The Twilight.
Mostly.
The trademark.
Hold on. Wait. Okay.
His
hold on.
trademark.
Okay. Yeah. I call him the Twilight, but before him, Ben Affleck. Let's say that right now. You don't get any background on Ben Affleck's Batman. You see what he might have went through. You don't get any background and understanding. Okay. He's only.
But what did they give you? What did they give you?
Superman. Batman v Superman, which was the worst movie ever. The only movie that I've ever walked out of. Yes, I walked out of the Batman v Superman movie. I was completely devastated by that movie.
Now, hang on. Can I pinpoint the exact time that you walked out?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where did you hear that name?
Yeah, 100%.
Martha.
No, 100%.
Martha.
Like,
How do you know that name?
I respected what they tried to go with for the comic-wise. That scene there ended it all for me. Like, I had somebody talk to me about it a week later.
That's not 20 minutes into the movie.
No, that's like...
You sat through a lot of film.
And it was all right up until that point. Because at that point, I'm thinking, all right, they took the Dark Knight Returns comic and they went their own way with it.
Okay.
But then they get to that scene, and I'm like, that's nowhere near how any fight between Batman and Superman
It was
at
always
no point is that anywhere near. Like, he'd put him down and then ask questions later. Let's answer that conversation right now.
Anything from the booth?
It was always political between Batman and Superman. It's like,
Like-
you're the government's superpower versus
But
like the man of people.
but at that in the comics, that was still an understanding of them knowing each other for so long. In the movie, these two just met each other.
Yep.
Like, these two just met each other. And I get it. He doesn't know he doesn't know Clark Kent's mother's name. Or Superman's mother's name.
Sure.
But at that point, I'm not going to wonder why he says, save Martha, when I know my own mother is already dead. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Why do you say that?
my mom's dead. I know she's not alive anywhere else. You saying Martha is irrelevant to me right now. Like,
And understand this. Next year will be 10 years since the movie came out. It'll be
and it should have
decade.
burned
Oh no, the movie.
before it. The reel that the movie got projected from
2 words.
should have been burned.
2 words.
Rejection. Like, somebody talked to me a week about it later. A week later about it, and they was like, "Oh, you didn't think Doomsday was cool?" I was like, "Doomsday's in the movie? That's friggin' wild." I went back and watched that clip, and I was like, "Even more trash." What do you mean? They did Doomsday dirty.
Poor Michael Shannon. 2 words. Jared Leto.
Oh, okay.
Ben Affleck has a hard Gotham, not for the sake of Gotham,
But him and Jared Leto's Joker
he's
interacted-
flying around shooting criminals with his bat gun, and that's what he's doing to the criminals of Gotham.
3
And then-
syllables.
No, but,
Three
like-
syllables. Okay,
You gotta
okay.
add the door hinge in. You gotta.
So, it's not the Twilight. He had a school shooter. Who else did he have?
He had
he had
listen,
Catwoman.
Riddler wasn't the best, but it was the year one
It was pretty-
Riddler
it was
that
pretty
we were
compelling.
looking for.
It was pretty compelling.
And so, like, this is why I said I'm going to be bringing in continuity. Every now
Sure,
and then,
sure.
because-
As long as it's cinematic. Don't.
No. I like not just straight like, oh well, this is what happened in the comics. Like,
In
but like, if,
1972.
but if you're trying to make these movies relate to the comics in any way, you got to do it right, or not at all. Like, because
I agree.
Batman v Superman, that was supposed to be based off of the Dark Knight Returns. That was a 2-part movie and a long comic series. that they
Brilliant.
did. Yeah, it was fantastic. Joker came back. It was a whole thing in the comics. And I understand they didn't have enough characters to play with that in the movie. Didn't do it any justice when they were just like, oh, here's Batman. Like, this was the introduction to Batman. This was supposed to be the introduction to the Batman in that universe. You're starting with the Batman that was at the end of his prime.
Right.
Like, he had to fight and save Gotham in the comics. You're bringing that sort of Batman to an early version of the cinematic universe. Doesn't really work out at that point because you're just saying like, oh, well, we can do whatever with this character and it still works.
His Robin's dead already. Like,
And
there's
that's my other thing. Like,
there's
you
no
don't get any
stakes.
background, like, because that was supposed to be the Jason Todd Robin, right? So
For some reason, it was Dick Grayson.
But that's my thing. Like you're just throwing whatever out there because you feel like you can, and you're not giving anything towards your audience. Like, cool, you want to respect. You want to try and pull in new people, but you've got people that are coming in from the past that are looking for these things and looking for that nostalgia. That's just like, well, what is this? I don't know who that guy is. I don't know why that piece is there. Like, continuity is always going to play a part in these movies. But it doesn't have to be the whole thing, and I get that. But the hit marks that you're trying to point out, you've gotta hit it right, or else you're just gonna lose people all the way through.
I agree with that. And to Zack Snyder is one of my favorite directors. I know he gets a lot of flack because of when it comes to his movies, he's really good at the iconography. He can take a look at a page and replicate it on screen. But yet there's the meat of the potato as to why did we get to this image in the first place. And I don't think the studio was trying to compete with Marvel, and that's a whole thing, whatever. But the reality of it is, DC has hundreds of stories, literally a century's worth of story that you can pull from. Even though we're talking about cinematic, the animated feature of Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and Part 2, is perfect,
unmatched.
Unmatched.
Yeah.
Peter Weller, love the guy to death. RoboCop, fantastic. And I feel like, and again, I know with Superman coming out, this is a Batman discussion. Even though people have their feelings about James Gunn, at least he did it the right way by starting out with an animated feature and then really pulling from that source to really show you that this is Superman and everything moving forward, even Batman. Even though it's going to be his version of it, he's still paying respects to so much of the sources, even animation, even comics. And so for that to be what it is, agreeing with what you said, a lot of these, I don't want to obviously get in trouble or whatever, but that's
sure.
Right.
Hey, this is the Quest, dude. Say what's on your mind, bro.
I mean, everybody in this room can attest to the reason why these movies are struggling, because we don't have actual fans writing these things. And you want to be able to, it's like with politicians. I mean, if we're electing these officials to help navigate our country or whatever, it should be the same thing in the executive boardroom of these major studios. We are giving you guys our hard-earned money to see what we loved as kids, as adults, that characters that helped us get through the toughest times in our lives on the big screen, and yet
the biggest
that'll ever be, and yet you're giving us narratives and agendas when everybody knows that comic books have always been social political, but it's escapism. And
of course,
and some level of relatability to go back to that escapism. So to see Zack Snyder not get his vision fulfilled, and unfortunately, Batman v Superman was like his second DC. Well, no, I take that back. Fourth DC project actually, because he had 300, Watchmen, Man of Steel, and then this one. So by the time he's kind of a veteran, so he knows what he's doing. It's just that him not getting the free range, and then we having to wait basically 4 years after that to get during the pandemic and get the Snyder Cut, which was one of my favorite movies of all time because the fans were so passionate about giving us this version that he wanted to finish, and we got it, and yet, that's not going to work because we're moving in this direction. Sucks.
And that's a big problem with DC right now. Like, we're moving and bouncing between so many producers, directors, like all this and that. Like, and then each producer and director want their own actor and their own different view and sight on it. So I mean, we're getting so many different people in these roles that we just can't stick around to love these characters like we do, like people do with the Marvel movies. And like that's why the debate between Marvel and DC gets so hard to defend. Just because, live action movies, DC ain't got it.
Well, there's investment long term, and I think that Marvel, nobody was itching and scratching for an Iron Man movie in 91, 89,
no,
93.
If you look back,
they wanted Tom Cruise.
But they had plenty of stuff that they had back then. They had an old Avengers.
Sure.
They had all that old stuff. DC, all we had was what? Batman, Superman, and Flash. Oh, no, we had Wonder Woman.
Well, Batman, the thing with those movies is you only have so many chances to...
Well, I don't even mean the movies. I mean the shows. Like the old shows that they had back in the day. Like they had an old Wonder Woman. They had an old
Linda
Flash.
Carter.
They had the
Ship.
old Batman. They had the Superman and Clark and Lois. They had that back in the day.
Dean Cain.
Shout out to Dean Cain.
Shout out DC from DC.
DC. I mean, like, so, but then when you get into the live action movies, back then it wasn't as good. But I will say, we were doing it earlier than Marvel, and then Marvel had to sell off a lot of characters to make their high budget movies.
And almost had a Michael Jackson Spider-Man. And we're not here to talk about that.
No.
We are.
I can talk enough crap about.
We
Marvel
are
and
literally.
stuff,
We are literally 4 nerds in a room talking about one of our favorite heroes of all time, super or not, powers or not, one of the greatest heroes of all time. We are talking about who is not the hardest Gotham cinematically.
Live action. Yeah.
Live action, cinematically, who did not have the hardest Gotham?
Batman being one of the main superheroes to get constant do-overs. The Twilight has a very similar problem to another Batman that I'm just going to go and toss out there, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
His Gotham is just downtown Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's
But they had
literally...
But they had, like, they both did have a lot of stuff going on. They had bombs. They had people with guns. They had people going on.
It was
everywhere.
very
Chicago
militaristic.
has
That's
bombs.
why I don't say Ben Affleck's Batman is as like better on the list, because you don't get his Gotham. You don't get you see bits from Suicide Squad with
Deadshot.
Harley Quinn
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Deadshot.
yeah.
Like, that's the only information from Gotham that you get from Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's Batman.
I mean, because the lead into him is meeting Superman. It's about vindication for him destroying his satellite.
And that still wasn't even in Gotham. Like, they went to, didn't they go to Metropolis to do that fight? So
Right,
that's
right.
still what you see him rough up a couple.
He pulled up
thugs.
to fucking Superman's hood and was like, "What's up? You want to wreck Gotham with Zod? You want to wreck
Okay,
Gotham
that
with
doesn't
Zod?"
make him the like that doesn't make his Gotham.
You
the
didn't
hardest.
see him huddle the child? He huddled a child and was like,
But that still
I
wasn't
got
in
you, yeah.
Gotham. That still wasn't even in Gotham.
Superman's not a true hero.
That still wasn't even in Gotham. That scene happens in Metropolis when they're fighting in the Superman movie. So
All right,
like,
so what about Kilmer? He didn't have a hard Gotham?
okay, he did have a hard Gotham.
The box. And me.
you were supposed
The
to
only
understand.
thing I like about that one was Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Of course, but he was Jim Carrey. And then you had Tommy Lee Jones that
was
tried to
acting
be
like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and
That's a fucking ignorant Gotham.
the only
That's an arrogant, I'm going to do better than you Gotham.
that was a lot of like one-upping each
Jim
other.
Carrey used
I
a
do
cable
wish-
box to take over the entire city.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very good.
And I wish I would have gotten more of the two sides of Two-Face. Like you only got the
Why don't you just die?
like you got the little background stuff of like, oh, the light side and the dark side.
He
that
did
they-
a very good
that they
job in the first
represent.
couple scenes
Yeah.
where he's like, and I'm going to talk like this, and then I'm going to talk like this. And then he lost it along the way trying to compete with Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
I think having those two side by side a lot really hurt the character, because it was more or less one-upping each other at that point instead of what the character.
It was a coin flip.
Yeah, but the coin flip just wasn't landing for Tommy Lee Jones at that point.
So
Pun that thing.
I saw what he did there.
So-
It just wasn't landing on heads for him.
what
So-
about the love interest in Batman Forever?
That pissed me off so much.
The whole like, yeah, I
didn't like-
like you. I like you, Bruce. I like you, Batman. I wish you were someone else.
Well, the fact
You
that
know
she,
that-
the fact that she understood who he was at the end, like,
No. Can we go intermediate where he realizes he's Batman. He's the man. She's fucking feeling down his leather, and she goes, I just can't help wishing you were someone else, Bruce Wayne. And then this silly motherfucker goes,
I don't understand like how you can kiss a guy 4 times, whether he's in mask or unmasked, and not tell that it's the slips.
well, I mean, they did it with Spider-Man, where she finally was like, she kissed him, and then she was finally like,
Are you bringing up Marvel in this?
No, I'm just saying, like, when you're doing the
Contract.
superhero kissing scene and they figure out who the person is, like, how many times did they do the same thing with Superman? Like, oh my gosh, I love Superman.
Well-
But, oh my gosh, I like Clark Kent.
Well,
But I can never tell that they're the same
This is
person, even though we're
journalistic
making
integrity.
I mean, well,
a pair of glasses really tells the difference between this character.
Hey,
Well,
you
here's
need
the
to
thing-
put them shits back on, bro. Don't. Hey,
No, he
Come
needed
on.
to take them off, apparently. Just walk through the
but
streets.
it was also posture. I mean, the one thing that he did do very well was posture, because a lot of times when
And that's where you can tell the good Superman actors versus the I'm just doing it to be Superman.
may you rest in peace, Christopher Reeve. I mean, it's posture. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it?
skibbity bebop and Christopher Reeve. So, why are we here? Why did I bring you into the quest?
To talk about
Who had the hardest
who had
Gotham?
the hardest Gotham. And I will say, Michael Keaton had the hardest Gotham. That's my personal.
You're gonna
opinion.
look at me
I'm gonna look you
with a
dead in
straight
the eyes.
face.
Dead in the
Do you
eyes.
know what the Penguin did to really try and ruin his life.
The Penguin bit the nose off of some politician. All right, hang on. So,
Good.
the reason why Imprint Jones is here, Dark Knight Jones is here, and my co-host, my producer, my guy, Hank is here, Henry, is to keep this
At a minimum.
calm leveled,
Yeah.
not punching below the belt. You Questers deserve some kind of clarity on who had the hardest Gotham. Now, Robert Kane has stated that Michael Keaton has had the hardest Gotham. I will let him rant on that for a little bit.
No, before we rant on,
Sure.
go ahead and say yours. I feel like what we should do is you go ahead and say yours.
I mean, if it's not literal, and if
Okay.
it's not out in the obvious,
then let's go over let's finish going over the other Batman that were
who
in the movie.
haven't had the hardest Gotham?
Yeah. So we went over the
Batfleck.
Batfleck. Let's go over
Christian Bale,
George-
Rachel.
Rob
Christian Bale.
Pattinson.
So the best thing that
What do you
came
say,
out of
Tyler?
Christian Bale's Batman was
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, and like,
Oh.
Because if you talk about the darkness, Batman,
but
I
yeah, like, but that was the best thing that came out of that. Oh yeah, no, we're not going to talk about.
talk about the you're merely born in the dark.
We're not going to talk about why that was.
You
so
committed to
bad,
that too, man.
but
Of course, you commit to the bit.
but oh goodness, like that just brings up already a lot of.
We
its own
talked about
memories.
Kilmer. We talked about everyone who doesn't deserve
Well,
it.
George Clooney. We haven't gone over George Clooney.
No,
yet.
we're gonna. Never mind.
We're gonna skip over that. Y'all want to skip over that?
Who doesn't deserve it?
Who doesn't deserve
That's
that?
my
Man.
whole argument
You guys-
here today.
Oh, that is your. Oh no. Okay,
You guys
yeah,
are
yeah,
forgetting
yeah,
about
we're
one
gonna-
very important Batman that I
Oh,
think.
Adam West. I'm sorry,
Adam
Yeah,
West,
let's-
man. You
Hold on. He like. I feel like he just needs to be taken out of the running just because
It's not
he
cinematic.
had. No, he had the more
movie.
comic
movie.
book
Okay,
version.
great.
They gave him the more comic book version of the Batman. Like he dealt with the ridiculous things that you see in the comics.
The sexy ass Tim Ward that he had
Yeah.
in the Skippies.
those friggin' cheek high
The
green
bat phone?
shorts.
Come on, bro.
And,
No,
Sliding down the
bat
pole.
phone. Hold on, I watched a clip the other day
It's-
from
it's
the
Burt- it's
Adam
Burt.
West Batman where
It's
he
Burt
was
Ward.
literally playing Bruce Wayne and Batman having the same phone conversation where the commissioner puts him on the phone with Batman because they were trying to figure out how to save the city.
Yeah.
And he was like, Batman, I'm here to figure out what's going on. And Batman's just like, well, with the things that he's asking for, I'm going to need you to actually try and give him the ransom money and then we can trap him. Well, if you think that's all right, Batman, I'll trust you. And I'm just like this can only be done in the comics the way that they're trying to pull this off.
Sure.
It's
So like
It's like some Tyler Perry Medea shit. Yeah.
it was it was the Robin Williams like
So if you're not like Robert Kane watching TV Land at 3 in the morning,
Shout out TV Land.
you guys obviously are up to date with. If you're our age, you've been through what? Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, Batfleck, Robert Pattinson.
and
Yes,
soon to be James Gunn's DCU Batman.
short. We've had a half a dozen Batman. We're here to discuss the two, because I have one, and my partner here has one, who had the hardest Gotham cinematically. We've been through a little bit. I'm going to make my argument that George Clooney had the hardest Gotham to deal with flat out.
Have you seen the Flash movie?
The one where George Clooney's like Batman again, or
For
he
like 2
went
seconds.
and messed up some stuff. That's
Yeah.
always the Flash. Like, no, you don't get to go mess up shit and change
No.
shit.
I thought it was good that they.
I went. I
respected-
put tomatoes in my mom's cart so she wouldn't have to get them. No, I'm not dealing with that. I'm
I
not
just
dealing
thought
with
it was
that
good-
kind of.
I thought it was good that they respected your character enough to bring him back as the mainline Batman. 'Cause
You're not Bruce.
like if I start seeing George Clooney in the Flash's Batman, like we're over at that point. Me
Too
and
much
DC.
swagger to wear the suit, bro.
Like,
too much swagger.
He
too
got
much
out of that
sauce.
car and I saw it was George Clooney. I was like, you sons of.
So,
So
being
slow.
the first ever guest on the Quest.
History.
Very much respected.
History.
I really appreciate it. I'll give you the floor.
Okay.
Go ahead and start your opening debate
With
on
what? Michael Keaton as being the best Batman ever?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, no, because that's what's about to be discussed. And
Who
understood
had the
by
hardest
everybody that
Gotham?
watches it.
Who had the hardest Gotham?
Okay, yeah. Who had
You
the
can
hardest Gotham?
debate on who had the best
He
Batman.
got set up by the Penguin as a murderer. Tell me anybody
Talking
else.
about
that
the
did
second one?
Yeah.
You're gonna jump straight into Batman
that.
Returns?
I'm going to jump into. Okay, fine. He had the Joker putting a blimp over the city, ready to drop gas on everybody.
And what did that gas do?
The Joker toxin? What do you mean?
Just what did it do?
Yeah. What do you mean? The Joker toxin? What do you mean?
I'm asking you what it did in the first movie of Batman.
It made.
Did it
everybody
choke
laugh.
people? Did it
made
make 'em
everybody
laugh?
Laugh hysterically until they died.
Okay. Now, how did he get people to come around the blimp or the parade, rather?
Just.
He threw money.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a bribing
So
Joker.
yeah, but that was Gotham. Like everybody was hustling, everybody was trying to get money.
So
Like, so
let's
it played
talk
to the
about it.
point. It played to the point of like the people in the city. Like,
Let's go even further.
Don't do it.
What is the opening scene to Batman 1989?
Ooh.
He deals with literal tweakers,
Thugs.
literal
but
like
that's what Batman
they're on a rooftop counting money.
But what if he's out there, man?
That's it.
There is
There ain't no
That's it.
bat.
That's it.
He's counting money
that's
as
it.
this shadowy
Shut
figure in the background. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and that was to
flamboyant
give everybody
ass.
their idea. That was to give everybody the semblance and the hope that Batman's out there keeping.
So
them
let's
safe.
go through this.
Yeah.
It opens up on fucking it might as well be Acme Plant or whatever.
It
They're
was Ace. No, it's Ace Chemical.
Ace
wasn't it?
Chemicals.
Ace
Let's go
Chemicals.
over that
All
because
right, all
you've
right.
got to set up the villain
Let's
that's
talk
going to
about
be
it.
in the movie.
right, and it's Jack Napier. I mean, essentially,
Yeah.
Facts.
and Jack, and he's working with who is that at the time? Harvey,
No.
No, it wasn't.
the fat one.
It wasn't Falcone, was it?
No, what was the other one's name? Maroney? Was it?
Yeah,
Maroney?
I think it was Marone. There you go. There we go.
Right,
There you go.
right.
There you go, my man.
So this is an old school kind of industrial plant where it's like you're
Chemicals
literally
everywhere.
walking and then a fucking pipe goes.
It was.
For no reason. You're just walking through whatever.
It was their way of saying we have a nuclear plant without saying we have a nuclear.
And then
Skate ball.
skip forward a little bit. You hear gunshots. It's literally pew, 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 pew. These are pistols. These are revolvers. Pew, bouncing off shit. And so he eventually confronts Jack.
Yeah, and he falls in
Falls into what?
to the vat of chemicals.
Causing him
You gotta watch where you fall, man.
to what?
The Joker.
So he drowns. He dies.
No, he doesn't drown. But
Oh,
it
excuse me. He
changes-
climbs
Hold
out.
up, because we could say the same thing about what who was it? Poison Ivy. in-
Yeah,
We're not doing this. We're not.
We're-
Go ahead.
we could-
He's trying to get you.
we we could say the same thing about Poison Ivy.
All right.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna draw back to it. But then it brings together a villain that totally ends up wrecking the city, and he ends up playing
Wrecking the city
people-
how?
He ends up playing the people by being like, "Oh, I'm a good guy. The Batman's the bad guy. Like, you guys need to be paying attention to me." And then, boom, he's over here playing everything behind the scenes,
Playing what though?
playing
The people.
the people.
Rachel. He's playing Rachel.
He's setting everybody up to think that Gotham is a safe place, so that then he can come and knock down the towers and be like, "No, actually, I'm here to have fun."
Okay. So you have this scene where the Joker, who you're talking about, Jack, turns into the Joker. He's revealed.
Yeah.
The best surgeon in the land tries to make his masterpiece, his dirty work, approachable, respectable. He grabs a mirror and he looks at himself and he starts laughing.
Smashes that thing, boy.
Smashes the mirror.
Wow. Metaphorical.
Literally, I mean, really doesn't look any different.
I mean,
I mean,
Aside from like a like a cheeky grin, like a smile.
But that's always the Joker. It's a subtle difference from the character just because his skin is now changed.
You know
and
how
he
I
can't-
got these scars?
Hey,
Wow, we got these cards.
it's the hardest line that you'll ever hear from a Joker character.
Okay, so I'm waiting for it to get hard. Pause. I'm waiting for it to get hard. So
Fine.
you have a deranged gang member, essentially. I'm not trying to be derogatory. You have a gang member who goes, oh, okay, I have a chemical alteration to my skin, to my smile, to my face. What am I going to do now? Kind of the same thing that I've been doing. I have henchmen.
But
You have henchmen.
that's what he does throughout the movie. He doesn't wreck everything altogether right away because he's playing the long game. He's working on it the long way.
So A to Z.
Yeah.
And
And
right around C or G, he goes, I'm going to go into an art museum. And I'm gonna spray paint this.
giving his little
Straight Prince.
giving his little points of like being like, hey, this is who's working in the background. This is who I am.
All
I
right.
need you to understand what's going on.
Are you aware
But
of?
then at the same time, going back around the corner and being like, hello, everybody. Everything is safe here. Is your friendly Jack.
Is that your Jack
Napier."
Nicholson Joker?
No, it's
Hey, folks.
got it. No, it's the what was Robin Williams' character in that movie?
Miss Doubtfire?
Mrs. Doubtfire. That's my Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's out of my range. Hello. That's so creepy.
How much
Imagine
Yeti in this kid?
Jack Nicholson Joker's like, hello, Batman.
He's like,
that's essentially what was going on. You have Jack Nicholson going from being the Joker to being Jack Napier on TV, making everybody think that's everything's okay. And
When
then-
he hacks the news anchor,
Jack Doubtfire.
which you guys, if you haven't seen Batman 1989, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Made a comic book out of it too, just a couple years ago.
Sure.
yeah, exactly.
When
They
you
came
hack
back with it.
the news network and they're reading the little prompt and then it's just like they all of a sudden start cracking up. That's kind of scary. That's kind of like, oh no, he's infected our mainstream media, which at the time, TV, there was no social media. TV was it.
Yeah.
So to your point, it's like, okay, he's became a different person, or he has become a different person. I'm really trying to analyze with the threat here. What
The threat of turning
The threat of what?
Of playing the city from as fools like the whole way through instead of just coming right out.
But what happens?
Instead of hold on, think about it like this. You don't want to come right out rock hard, right? You want to have fun. You want to play.
You fluff it up.
Yeah, you want to you want to fluff her.
All
to
right.
get
What
going.
happens when you fluff it up?
Then you come in and hit him hard and strong. Exactly.
Now you have no events of him hitting it hard. You know what you have? You know what you have?
Fine.
Can we go ahead?
It
Hang on.
doesn't get too hard till closer to the end of the movie where he.
So what's
actually
going
threatens
on
everything.
before that?
You
Who else
got-
is he?
You
In
got
the first
description-
movie,
Okay, in the beginning, it's more or less the description of who the Batman is, and that's what we get out of the
right? And
first
he
movie.
has a house party, and
say-
he's dealing with
I
journalists.
will say the first movie.
Where's that knight suit? Where's that samurai suit come from?
You're getting more of the character of the Batman than you are getting the city of Gotham.
Establish it. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Because they're thinking that this character is going to go on for a long time.
Yeah.
So
At
then
least 3 movies. Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
So then you get it breaking into the end of the movie where it's like, okay, he really has to fight for his town, for his city, and he has to face a challenge for himself that relates back to his childhood.
Because he's still fairly new.
Yeah,
Like Commissioner Gordon is like, and the Batman.
yeah, like this is still a learning point for the Batman. This is after year 1.
And the Joker is
essentially.
so new,
Yeah.
where they're just gonna trust and believe this guy.
And even then, it wasn't necessarily a prominent character for them to just be like, okay, we're gonna throw him straight in and make him this hard character, because they didn't know what they were necessarily gonna do with him. Like they could have brought him back, they could have done something different, but they wanted to test something that they thought would work for the time and era that it was.
Okay.
I
And then-
really like Michael Keaton's Joe Chill.
Yeah. So like that's and
I
that's
don't.
No,
I'm
like that.
I'm kidding.
But that was something that they were playing with at that time. Like they were trying to see what kind of background for the Batman they thought would work. Didn't land. No. Like the hardest thing that came out of there was have you ever danced with the devil in the moonlight? Like that was the hardest thing that ever came out of that. That's the hardest thing that came out of that for the background.
The funniest thing out of that movie too, because he goes, "What?"
Yeah. Like, That's the hardest thing because then at the end of it, you're essentially saying the Joker is who killed Batman.
So, not to look this up, we're not gonna do any kind of thing like
spoilers.
that.
Yeah, let me say that right now. Spoilers.
If they haven't,
for 89 Batman, what?
Anybody
on
who
them.
hasn't seen the Batman movie of that time, and then it's just like, oh, the Joker killed Batman's parents.
so
Well, some people still haven't seen Lost and Game of Thrones. You can't be too
let's
sure who
expand
hasn't
on
seen
Game of Thrones. So, Bruce Wayne in this movie, I will attest, has some huevos. He has the most. Now, does he put a silver platter in his suit at the time?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
It hits with the fucking fire poker.
But that's
What's your explanation for having not a one night stand with Vicky Vale, an old school Alfred? You have all the elements.
That was Bruce Wayne. One night stands, hitting it up,
yes,
and making them think that they're going to be around forever. When really they're just going to get kicked out the very next day. Like, let's be honest.
Sure.
Like it was the dual identity that they were working with.
Okay, so you are about in this debate a dual identity.
Yeah, and that's what this movie really played on the most, like the dual identity of Batman to Bruce Wayne. You could even essentially say Jack Napier to Joker, because that's
the
how
transition.
that's what he used to try and play the people of the city.
So I'm trying to figure out where it gets hard.
Okay, and like I said, the first movie was more of a setup. The second movie is where they then.
Oh, so
bring
it took
harder.
two.
Okay, listen, hold on. Here's where because he was good enough to get two.
Okay, all right.
Got him.
Strike. Oh, boom. Got
He
me.
was good enough to get two. They were like, well, listen, it was so great.
But you're spreading the wealth.
Yeah, but
So let's hang on. Let's finish on the first one. We can always go into the second one. Let's finish on the first one. What made the first one hard? You have, not to spoil anything, this big engineered Batwing that flies up across the moon and gives the emblem that you're wearing. Iconic.
Yes, sir.
And then kind of falls back down. Now, that militaristic, aerodynamic piece of flying machinery gets taken down by what?
Yes, sir.
A long-barreled revolver
Okay,
that you
and
can
that's
get
where-
from Academy. You
and
can get that
that's-
from Academy.
and that's where we have to say continuity falls in line because that was more for the readers than it is for the watchers. Let's go ahead and clarify that right now.
You gonna take me out with a gun?
That's a jet. That's a aircraft that you're literally getting into.
Yeah.
Shot down by a pistol.
Like he
But that's the point. That's why I said this more falls in line with the readers more than it does the watchers. Just
This
because
is a cinematic debate, Robert. Go ahead.
and I get it. That's
That's
that's what the cinematic was also trying to play with at the time. They weren't just trying to leave it up to the cinema. They were also trying to play on with their comic book audience that had been with the series for years and wanted to see what they were doing live action that they could relate to the comics.
Okay.
And for them,
I think Michael Keaton's Batman Gotham is hard because Michael Keaton's a killer and kills his citizens.
well, and so hold on, that's where it lines into the that's where it flies back into the second movie because but that's where people wanted to see the, oh my gosh, Joker can take down the Batman with just a long-barreled pistol that somehow takes down the Batwing. Like, yes, I get it. The first movie wasn't necessarily the hardest. The second movie is where it comes into the hardest. And that's why I say Michael Keaton's is the hardest. Not because of how many movies or not because of how many movies he's done, but because of which movies he plays.
Sure.
So, if you want to play into it, then yes, we will have to give it to the first movie not being the hardest. Not being the hardest Gotham.
Difficult. He does
Yeah.
fist fight him.
Like, yeah,
but you
no.
wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Where do those glasses come from, bro?
it was a playful Gotham.
Sure.
For the first one.
Yeah.
So, leading into all that, you go into the second movie.
Uh-huh.
Where you see a baby cast out just because it looks hideous. It shows
Sure.
the horrible ideals that Gotham. Yeah. shows the horrible ideals that Gotham has.
Sure.
Gets picked up by some penguins and then raised by a circus, weirdly enough.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
All right.
Yeah.
So then you lead into an assistant getting felt up by her bosses, who then sees some stuff that she doesn't need to see.
And what happens to her?
Gets shoved out a window.
Nah, she don't get shoved, man. She gets Kamehameha.
Yeah, she gets blasted. She gets blasted out the window. And let's be honest. Like, okay, all businesses in Gotham are at least like 20 to 30 stories at this point. Let's be honest. So she falls a very long height, essentially dead on impact.
Yeah.
Dead on impact should be at least. If she's alive, doesn't want to be because that's
No.
a heavy fall. Like,
Michelle,
let's be honest.
Michelle Pfeiffer is so fun.
Shout out.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Shout out.
She
Michelle
survives. For Pfeiffer, she survives.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Hey, put your dick away.
Stop.
All right. So, okay. Now what?
So then you get
She gets licked by a couple of cats.
And
okay,
Ben. This-
hold
this
on.
white thing.
Not as quite hard as Halle Berry's, but yeah,
We're not
gets,
gonna talk about
gets
that
felt up.
We're not talking about that one at all. That
Yeah. But then you get two villains that are going to eventually play a heavy role.
Oh, two.
Well,
So in the
two
second
main-
movie, hang on. In the second movie, there's no Joker?
you get okay
Because
so
he
Lynn,
falls from a gargoyle that didn't hold
right.
his...
Imprint Jones is right. We're technically getting three because you get
Max
the
Shrek.
you get the
Christopher
the
Walken.
guy, the Christopher Walken, who's running
A
the
corrupt...
business.
Yeah, you're right,
you're
right.
getting him.
Okay.
So
okay.
then you
So
gotta
4
do that.
villains total.
Which, just to point out, that role was originally meant for Billy D. Williams' Two-Face, and at the end when she kisses him with the taser, that was supposed to turn him into Two-Face. So there was meant to be 3 villains total anyway.
Okay.
I wouldn't have liked it that way. I like it. I prefer it better this way. So
True,
I'm
true,
glad
true.
that they didn't go. that
Yo,
way.
Billy D. Williams half blackface
he-
would have been great.
I mean, no, I had heard about that.
Would've
I had
been
heard about that.
nuts.
I had heard about that, and I'm glad that they didn't go that
Sure,
way.
sure, sure.
Oh, God.
So then you essentially get 3 villains who are wrecking things from 3 different aspects:
A
Behind the
political,
political,
sewer.
behind the scenes, and then business-wise. No.
Okay,
No.
all right.
The Penguin was more political.
Okay.
Christopher Walken's was more business-wise, and then you get
Personal. Psychological. Personal.
yeah, and then you get Catwoman, who's more
Yo,
behind the scenes.
he's the penguin.
That's good. That's good.
He's kind of big.
What's up with the notes?
She's got a whip.
I
And
wish I could do that as well as you.
That's so good.
Skin tight.
But so you get all that going on, and then it lays into the scenes of like what they try to do to stop the Batman. See,
who is established at this point?
yeah,
He is
who's-
the Batman.
and they
like-
understand that he is a problem that they're eventually going to have to deal with, and so they have to figure out ways around it. Catwoman, she's just playing with.
Can I ask you a question? Just continuity wise, is it the first or the second one where they hijack the Batmobile?
Second one.
Second one.
And it turns from a girthy Batmobile into a little skinny get through the alley kind of thing, or is it?
Can I get
No. That.
Can I get-
I mean, that was a totally different scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened was he figured out that Penguin hijacked his car.
Right.
And there was a device underneath said car. He punches it out, and he's trying to get away from the cops. Batmobile, as you said, is too girthy.
Right.
So being that Batman's always prepared in some pod type of situation,
Yeah.
he flips the switch. It's such, oh my god, even for the 90s, it was such a cool scene.
Contingency plan. Yeah.
And just squeezes through a little alleyway, and it's really like a.
I mean, 'cause if you-
it's just
What did they
If you
call
wanna-
the bail?
the bat pod. It's like a
the
bat
bat
pod.
pod.
There you go.
Right.
And that's what I was about to say. If you want to get mad at that, then you got to be mad at the Bale Batman for having
We already excluded
that one. Okay.
Bale's Gotham
Oh.
for not being
No,
the hardest.
I'm saying, no. If you want to get mad at how they run the Batmobile, you got to be mad at how.
I'm not mad
Christian
at that.
Bale-
I like that. I like that it went
But that
from.
shows the adversity that Batman thinks ahead.
I
of
like Danny DeVito's little Batmobile that he's driving in there.
Oh yeah. Because the fact that he went far enough to actually make the little ride look like the Batmobile.
It's dope.
Yeah, like
You see,
that,
you see at the arcades back in the day.
yeah,
It's dope.
that kind of planning into really wrecking stuff
Okay.
is what makes that good.
So
Pushes
Two-parter,
what's
two-parter.
essentially
when does it get hard?
What do you mean? It's from the very beginning.
What is Keaton going through right now where he's like,
No, we're not
Fuck,
talking.
Alfred,
no, we're
I-
not talking about Keaton.
I really
we're talking
don't.
about Gotham. We're talking about what makes it the hardest Gotham. You even said that yourself.
Okay.
Not for Batman, but Gotham. The adversity, the political, the everything.
So if you wake up as
What-
Keaton's Batman and you're going through
You're
this,
automatically waking up like as Bruce Wayne. you're automatically having to look at the paper and be like, oh God, they threw another kid down the sewer to live with penguins just because it's ugly. What the F, guys?
If that made the news. If that made the news.
If that made the news.
How optimistic of you, Bob Kane.
Who is the golden retriever? The fucking
Ace the Bathound?
No. I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about like
Airbud?
Airbud?
No, the one that's like, who's down the well? Who?
Lassie.
Yeah.
So Lassie came up and was like, "Hey, they threw Penguin down the drain." It's like, no.
So if we're
then
doing an
you
animated feature of Lassie, Christopher Walken's voice in that one too.
Well, you don't want to add Christopher Walken and animals. Anyways.
Oh no.
Anyways, so go ahead and continue. Tell me how Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne wakes up and he goes, "Damn, I have such a hard Gotham."
Manages to turn the city against him by making them think that he killed
A model, right? A model.
Yeah, it was a model that was supposed to be a headliner of the Christmas show, parade, whatever it was going to be. So then everybody's automatically against him just because he managed to plant some evidence on the body to make it look like Batman killed her. So then you've got to deal with the people turning against you, them working for a corrupt politician.
It wouldn't be the first time they turned against him because Joker was doing that in the first movie. So people are kind of iffy on the Dark Knight.
Yeah, but that's how it always is
right,
with the Batman. You never have a straightforward, I like Batman, like they do in some other movies where they're pretty much throwing charities for the Batman.
Batman, yeah!
Go!
Like you have a city that's divided on whether they like him or not, and then you have the issue of, like I said, corrupt politicians.
Okay.
You have the Catwoman aspect of it, who she's in there just like, oh yeah, I like you,
Which you said
but
she
I'm
was.
gonna whoop the living crap out of you.
sir.
and
You
then
didn't
go
say
steal some
that
diamonds.
she was a measly assistant. I'm putting those words in
No,
your
no,
mouth.
I did not say.
You
measly
didn't say
assistant. I
that.
didn't
So
say
she
measly
turns
assistant.
from measly assistant to
She's a
Michelle
baddie.
Pfeiffer did those stunts on her own. The fucking whipping the mannequin heads off.
She's a baddie, bro.
Like, but and
She's a
even
badass,
hold on.
bro.
But now let's look at Michelle Pfeiffer's character in that point. She's an assistant for a very wealthy company, making dog crap money, living in an
Okay.
apartment with 20-something cats.
A lot of cats.
Who, like, what, her boyfriend, fiance,
Broke up with her.
cancels a trip on her and says, I'm taking somebody else. Like, that's just the everyday life of an assistant in Gotham. That's let alone thinking about what the poor people are going through.
Okay.
So you got the hardest parts going through just how to live in that city and everything. And then you're having to deal with supervillains now all of a sudden coming out of the woodworks, taking over our politics, stealing all of our crap, and then we don't know if we like the vigilante that's going around jumping off rooftops because he might have killed a lady. And then coming back around to the fact that the guy who's running a big industry is a horrible person.
It sounds a lot like your city needs Marlon Wayans as Robin, running around, brightening it up,
Like nobody
making
ever
it a better place.
But like, let's say here, nobody ever said Gotham was a good city. It's not
never a
shiny.
good
It's
city.
not shiny.
He just likened it to Chicago. He's never even been to Chicago.
It's not as
They literally
shiny
shot The Dark
as
Knight in downtown Chicago.
it's not shiny as and sunny as it is in Metropolis. So sorry that we can't have a red cape superhero flying through with superpowers.
That's some issues there.
You have Batwoman.
Oh,
We're not going to talk.
She has a red cape.
Rachel.
Hold on, because I know that we're gonna have to talk about Batwoman at some point or Batgirl. No, let's cover it. Batgirl.
There's like-
a difference. There's a difference between Batgirl and Batwoman. There's a difference between.
Do
Batgirl
your
and
job
Batwoman.
as moderators. Let's not do this yet. Let's leave this till the end.
So then you have to deal with the fact that, all right, the final showdown between all of these characters, because the Penguin done got shown up for doing some real bad stuff, bit a dude's nose off.
Looking like
Like-
Mariah Carey in a
And
onesie.
there's-
Yeah.
I do remember. I literally looking through our messages, I saw that old sex that you sent me, and I was like, God dang, that was not a good pose for her.
No. By the way, your name in my phone is Keaton Dick Ryder.
Oh yeah.
This is years in the making. This is not our first time discussing this. On a public platform, yes. But this is not our first time discussing this. What is my name in your phone?
I was about to say, if you want to call out your name,
Sure.
I will have to tell them about your name,
Yeah.
which is Clooney's Batnips.
Wait,
Because it
was you in the opening scene when he was doing they were suiting up and.
When you took the
Yeah,
nice ass?
that was-
It was me.
Oh yeah, you hear the squeak at that point where they zoom in on the ass. Yeah, where they zoom in on the ass and you hear the squeegee squeak of the latex.
All right, we're not there
rubbing
yet.
together.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
So the ending, the crescendo,
But
to your two movies.
But so so then this is where it deals more into Batman more than it does Gotham because he's then having to deal with the fact that he has to try and have sympathy for the villain,
Sure.
trying not to kill anybody. Penguin's now dead.
Yep.
He
Face
gets-
down, floating,
yeah,
right?
That was a bold ending for that character with that body type. Let's just say that right now.
Oh no!
Dead man's floating.
No, it's the Mariah Carey.
What's up?
No, it's the Mariah Carey thing. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I got that. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Let's never see that body. Let's never see that happen face down ever again.
Touch my body as it flows down. The river all dead, and I'm fat as hell. Touch my
I'm good.
body.
I'm good on that. I wouldn't touch that one. Neither would Nick Cannon.
Hey.
sorry.
Shout out Nick Cannon.
But then you
Don't
have to,
shout out Nick Cannon on the Quest. All right. Go ahead.
But then you have to deal with the trying to convince Catwoman to then not take revenge on this corrupt politician for what he did to her altogether.
Sure.
And we get we get the good old ripping off his full mask.
Yeah.
The cowl.
Uh-huh.
Me the
ripping
whole
off-
time.
Yeah, like nobody was supposed to know. I think even Christopher Walken was surprised. It was like,
Hey, yeah, you're Batman.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. Don't fucking drum me up to do a bad Christopher Walken.
that's what I'm
No, he
saying.
was like, sorry,
I
Bruce
can't
Wayne,
do.
what do you-
if
Hey,
I
yo,
What do you dress as Batman?
Bruce
What's
Wayne
Bruce
is
Wayne.
Batman.
It's Batman.
It was crazy.
That's
I can't do Christopher Walken, so I
good.
won't even
That's
try.
really good.
But I mean, to see that then sudden surprise, and then Catwoman then still killing herself by killing him, we all know that that's bullcrap.
Man, I can't imagine how hard Gotham must have been for Keaton Batman. I mean,
Do you remember seeing a bit of daylight in that movie?
well, no,
I mean, yeah, but
that's a different thing. Well,
Okay, hold on. There was like 5 seconds of daylight where he's trying to set up
in
a
either
date
of the movies,
with Michelle Michelle
at
Pfeiffer.
the store, yeah.
5 seconds.
Okay.
either
5 seconds.
of the movies, if we're including both,
No, you get more daylight.
if we're including both, he drops roses for his parents
Oh, yeah.
after they see the movie, and
And I mean,
some
but
guys
that-
sweeping that up 5 minutes later, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, this crummy kid, fucking dropping flowers and shit."
So I mean, if you want to talk about how hard Gotham is, yeah, that can essentially be the heart of it all for Batman.
I mean, they
just
have a
because-
black DA. How hard does it get? So, don't cancel. Come on.
Bring
me
you're
the
talking-
difficulty. That's all
You're
I'm
talking
asking.
about a kid whose parents were gunned down outside of an opera house, not a movie theater, not a cinema, nothing. An opera house.
Mm-hmm.
Who waits outside of an opera house to be ready to gun down some people and be like,
Jack Nicholson.
I mean, that's very facts. It happened. I will say this, piggybacking off of what you said. I understand what you're saying, but I will say this: both movies connect well together in the sense that you're exploring duality.
two movies that were,
Back to back.
back
It's a
to
sequel.
back
Yeah.
with the same actor.
What happened with the third
with
one?
the same actor.
What happened
No. Doesn't matter if we didn't get a third or not. Getting the same actor for both movies.
Uh-huh.
So back to back.
Yeah.
Without some weird gimmicks to then throw into the whole thing. Let's say that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will have plenty of that to bring up. When
Sure.
Kind of
about your guy.
some bright palettes.
Yeah.
Very bright palettes.
You have so much to choose from to try and throw in to not only tell about the city, but
Okay.
to tell about the villains
All
for
right.
the city.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you said your piece? As much as you
For
can.
now,
You
for
can
now,
always
for now.
bring stuff
I'll
up.
probably throw some stuff up. I'm gonna have some comments to make on yours. Don't worry.
It's funny you mentioned duality. The thing about our next Batman is he's Batman and Bruce Wayne because he chooses to be,
Oh God.
not because he has to be.
This Spider-Man nonsense, bro. This Tobey Maguire. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so I will be with
Hold
you.
on. Wait, can we point out
Sure.
Alfred was a rock through
Hey,
all of
can-
these.
Oh, please, please,
Yeah,
No, it's fine.
please,
No,
no,
it's fine.
please.
Go ahead. Go.
Having,
Go ahead. Yeah.
having Alfred as the rock through all of these movies was the craziest thing.
Rest in peace, Michael Goff.
Sure. Especially through yours.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't as involved in yours. He was more involved in Val Kilmer's,
No, actually, well,
technically.
The plot of the movie is him dying.
no, those.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
but then
no,
that's how
that's
you bring
Clooney.
in...
Hang on. So you're making my point, and I will gladly take the floor for everyone who is about to agree that George Clooney had the hardest Gotham of all time throughout any Batman who's appeared on screen cinematically. Don't bring me that comic book shit. Don't bring me, oh, he did this in this series. I'm talking strictly cinematically, as my friend Robert Kane here is. Who had the hardest Gotham cinematically throughout all the movies?
So, do you want to start on yours? Because I will have a at the end comment to make for one of your villains doing something.
Please.
No. I'll wait until.
Just remember.
I'll wait. Yeah. I'll wait until I'll wait until the end because one of your villains does something that's like pretty much very similar to the first movie. But
Okay.
Here we
So, I will delve and I will dive deep into my opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, there are two vehicles that appear. One is a Batmobile. They kind of jump straight into it.
Hot rod. Sick.
And then there is a motorcycle. The movie is titled Batman and Robin. Robin goes, I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Insinuating there is a Superman in this universe. Why he doesn't appear, have no idea.
So pissed off about that.
So, that being said, our opening villain, like I kind of made fun of yours, was some druggies, some crackheads dealing out some... There is no Bat. Our opening villain is Freeze and the gang.
We're dealing with a different kind of ice.
A different kind of heist, right? Batman. It comes on the first 90s FaceTime. It's this big.
Yes, sir.
The first 90s face. Batman. He calls himself Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Driving a way too big in the front Batmobile, which your Batmobile was kind of like condensed.
What wasn't an open cockpit too?
Open cockpit. So you're dealing with
cover.
bugs. I'm going to include this. You're dealing with no windshield, bugs, cowl.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bugs makes it such a hard Gotham. Oh, there's so many gnats in the air.
Tell that to Blue Beetle.
Great movie, by the way. I watched it the other day.
So
I did watch that.
you
Sean
have
Connery, yes.
the second Robin. It's the same Robin, yes, but it's the secondary, like a little more
can we
playful,
point-
a little more like I'm
They
Robin.
went more Tim Drake Robin at that point.
It's the Nightwing suit with a cape. Just they made the logo red.
No, they
And you know what's so ironic about that? They ended up using that very same design in the New 52.
the Tim Drake.
No.
Or,
That in the Batman and Robin.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same one. I'm like, okay, doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
like he gave me more Tim Drake vibes from this Robin.
Sure.
Or like
sure.
okay, into the era Dick Grayson wanting to split himself off.
Look, check that out. Check that out. What do you think of that?
That's clean, bro.
I
That's
prefer
super clean.
I prefer the blue.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
classic.
always preferable to the blue.
Put it
now,
on the
if you
screen,
want to
Hank.
if you want to get real old, pull up the old Teen Titans Nightwing.
So clean though, bro.
If you want to get real good, hold on, you're gonna see something I love.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a thing in all honesty.
Oh no.
like, no.
That's dope though.
Which
That's,
one? No.
Hank, I see you.
I mean,
man.
no, that old symbol. There was a gold. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm
you're
trying to
talking
think
about
of-
like the comic book where he looks like
the disco. The disco.
Come on.
I'm talking about
the flared collar and stuff
disco.
like that.
The blue
Yes.
and yellow. The blue and
Okay.
yellow.
That
Come
one.
on, man.
Dude, it doesn't get any better than that, right?
So
there.
you're not okay.
Yeah.
Aside from that, you're not getting that in a Batman and Robin movie.
you're never gonna get that.
So this was
Disco Nightwing. Disco
that's
Nightwing.
pretty much what you
Like
described
a-
that Nightwing as.
like a
I
right.
do like the Teen Titans that they did in the show, but the Teen Titans comic Nightwing, Disco Nightwing, pretty much.
Hey, Disco Grayson.
Fantastic.
Disco Grayson, baby. Shout out Disco Grayson.
Disco Grayson is
Love it,
crazy.
bro.
And then you have that guy.
It's a dope costume. It's just out of
I
context.
mean, it's good.
It's out of context.
I don't blame. I don't blame you. It's good, but then it's like compared to everything, nipples. Can we zoom in on that?
All right, just say
part?
nipples. Just say nipples.
Can we zoom in on that? part?
Okay. So it opens up. I'll
And
take
then-
the ice. You
okay.
take the Iceman.
And then even
Kevin Jim, get the heroes. Go. Do it now.
Okay. So
and then he gets played by Poison Ivy the first time, and then he
no. You're doing my thing for me.
Okay, sorry.
So you open up. There's already a Victor Freeze. Okay, and you're dealing with the hockey team from hell.
Yep.
That and then they end up.
Skating a diamond over ice.
Yes, sir.
Now, how did the museum get iced?
By Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
By Mr.
Sure.
Freeze.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The whole thing gets iced by Mr. Freeze. So they're skating around and
I'm sorry that
you know what
my
I'm mad at?
movies-
You know what I'm mad
I'm
at?
sorry that my movies didn't come with the ice gun or the heat
You know what they didn't come with? You know
or Firefly.
You know what they didn't come with? Fucking
Ching, ching. Got it.
that was gimmicky. Like that was
All
you
right,
can't say-
okay.
You can't. Okay, what man sits there and thinks, you know what? It's summer, but there's going to be one day where I have to ice skate. Let me put these. in a
That
boot.
sounds like a contingency Batman to me.
Sounds like a Batman Beyonce, if you ask me.
All right, so
That sounds like a man who just was alone in his cave one day and was thinking, "What else can I do to the suits?"
I will say this.
who's that figure skater that got attacked back in the early? You know what I'm talking about?
Christian Yamaguchi?
No. A figure skater attacked. Dude, you guys are gonna remember this
I
as soon
don't.
as he brings it up.
So while he's doing that, so kind of to echo the sentiments, or I guess you could say symbolism of Robin in this movie. I think the reason why Joel Schumacher went to go with the Nightwing design is because that was him kind of coming out of his shell at this.
Was it
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan? Yes. She goes backstage and immediately gets attacked. Future, like she was the boss bitch,
Yeah, for real.
and then she got attacked by the silver medalist or whatever. So
Another medalist?
yeah, well, it was
Tanya Harding. Oh no!
it was another medalist posse.
This is the movie with Margot Robbie, who plays Tanya. And
Wow.
Okay.
So what date was this? When did this happen?
94.
90. So you're like, okay, I need to be ready for anything and everything.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna have ice skates, so I'm not attacked. Contingency plan.
Robin, Nancy Kerrigan.
No, you gotta
was-
do it in the Clooney voice. Robin.
Robin.
What? Hey, this is my
So-
no
Nancy Kerrigan was attacked.
by Tanya Harding.
So we need to be prepared in case we ever have to figure skates.
I don't know. Let's number one, like George Clooney's just that dude. He's one of my favorites.
Sure.
He's such swag.
Yeah, money all the way through, and that's what they presented in the movie.
But it's like you don't think like even with Adam West, you don't think to like to switch up the tonality of your voice just a little bit. You're George Clooney playing Batman. You're not playing Batman. Batman doesn't exist at all in that movie. Not dogging you, but I'm just saying like everybody had like a voice differentiation.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. All right, so you're dealing with a punny Mr. Freeze.
Nice.
There you go.
And so he does, and then George Clooney has the balls to Fred Flintstone down the long neck and come out the other side and plop right in front of him and go, "Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman. Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman."
George.
But what does that have to do with anything of God? That's
So
the
hang on, at
interaction
least-
between
at-
Batman
what I-
and villains.
We're arguing,
Yeah.
but what I will do is compliment you on your Batman, where he goes, "Yeah, this samurai uniform, I got it from 1680," and then he goes, "I'm Batman. At least a little bit.
Yeah.
What I don't have is the duality of voice.
I'll
where-
say he adds a little bit of gruff. He brings it like
Who, Keaton?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
of
no.
course.
I'm talking about Clooney. He tries to bring it a tone down, maybe. Like
When things get serious, when he's having those conversations with Dick about like, this is my house, this is my rules, and it's what I do to keep us all.
It's my way or the highway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I mean.
he tries to bring it a tone down. I'll give him that.
And then when Alfred gets sick, he has those like, those. Oh,
Okay.
let me
Slash.
Sorry, go ahead.
Slash.
Yeah, hold on.
Mr.
We're
Freeze
working our way through it.
escapes through a rocket that Batman jumps on, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Butterfly
So,
wings, butterfly jetpack wings.
Elon Musk would be proud from him in his ice mobile or whatever it's called, shooting a rocket into the sky to escape on,
Yeah.
to later blow up and it's winter, fuck, or whatever the fuck he says.
I will say,
Hang on. Batman jumps onto this rocket.
yeah.
Robin jumps onto this rocket and uses his Batman Beyond bat claws to clank onto this thing.
Suction cups, whatever.
Yeah.
During this spat that Batman and Mr. Freeze are having, hits him up against the wall, freezes his hand, somehow goes from A to Z
Yeah.
across without freezing the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
And he freezes both hands, literally in the cutscene goes, zzz, goes across,
Yeah.
no dead stream, zzz, gets both hands. What is Clooney going to do? Who knows? Mr. Freeze goes, well, catch you next time, or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
Goes and does the butterfly wings out,
Crazy.
Yeah, that was-
waiting for the rocket to explode over Gotham and the somehow shrapnel causing some kind of damage.
Are we not gonna wonder why Mr. Freeze has butterfly wings to then fly out?
I don't know. I
Like that at no point do I ever think butterfly wings, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, that's relatable.
It's like it's the. I mean, so listen,
I will, and that's my point for like that sort of scene.
so hang on. Can we
you're
stop?
Batman.
Can we poke a hole in this?
Yeah.
His whole thing is for the rocket to go up and explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rain terror over Gotham. What happens to said rocket?
It just blows up.
Hang on. So Robin climbs from the outside in, and he goes, oh, I'm glad you showed up, or whatever the fuck he says. And he's like, he melts Clooney's hands free with some kind of anti-ice melting gun.
It's a
another
heat
contraption where he's like, where am I going to need to melt ice very
How
quickly?
how did you know? How did you know?
If Robin wouldn't have showed up, that would have been curtains on old Batman. True?
Yeah, okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah,
Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like,
immediately,
as soon as you're done with this
in
point,
the
I got something to say.
In the first 8 minutes,
About 15.
he's facing death, where your Batman is like, well, I got this one night stand, Vicky Vale.
Okay, but hold on.
She won't
But
go
hold on.
away.
Once again, we're not talking about what happens to the Batman. We're talking about what happens
Hardest
to
Gotham.
Gotham. Yeah. So
This is in the realm
these are
of
things.
Batman.
these are
He calls
things-
himself
these-
Mr. Freeze.
These are things
No
that's
way.
happening to the Batman.
No way.
These are things that are happening to the Batman.
Sure.
Nothing's happening to Gotham at this point. There's a rocket that's in the air.
Well,
Yeah,
nothing's
sure.
happening
Nothing's
to.
happening.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
You
I
wanna-
agree with you.
You want to play the game? I'll play the game with you, sir.
So to kind of like
I'll play the game
so
with
here's-
you.
so basically, since you guys are doing that, you got to realize. Well, you both already realize this. Batman is a direct reflection of Gotham.
Yeah,
So
and I get that.
Anything that happens to Gotham,
And that's
Batman
why
is Gotham.
everything that's been going on so far.
So that's not- so
hold
what
on.
he's
So
going
everything
through-
that's been going on so for your Batman is very comic-y.
But is it not difficult? We're talking
Very-
about the level
very
of difficulty.
Comic-y, very comic-y.
Can't
We're-
be.
You want to hear difficult? Fucking Batman and Robin are trained like ninjas. They move like ninjas. They move at very fast speeds.
You want to know what's
Robin goes, huh, and gets frozen midair.
Hang on. Whoa. We're not there yet. We're not there
You want
yet.
to know what's hard? Trying to fight the Penguin while having a hard-on after fighting Catwoman. Like, let's talk about that right now.
Let's talk about it.
Can we not? You're going to make me
In
hard.
a skin-tight suit, by the way. Like,
You
hold
said
on, I gotta
your
put it away
piece.
real quick. Hold on.
I asked
Wait,
you
give
if
me a
you
second.
had anything else. Let me
Yeah, go ahead.
talk about this.
Go ahead.
He melts his hands.
Yeah.
And then how do they escape this rocket that's doomed to explode?
By
He places.
jettisoning-
Hang on. He
Okay.
goes, a bat bomb So I don't know what the original explosion was going to look like, but a bat bomb caused this explosion that's about to happen.
Right.
He goes, we only have so much time. He goes, well, what are we going to do? He goes, we got to jump. And then they
snowboard off the door.
It was a dope
right?
sequence, though.
It was cool.
Very
dope
Power
You know what was
Rangers-esque. Very
I was about to say, you know what else that reminded me of? The Power Rangers movie, very beginning scene. Where there's exactly.
Okay, so instead, they go, yeah, what does he say? He's like, hold on or some shit like that, some like corny shit.
Surfs up.
Yeah, sir.
Surfs up, big kahuna! Yeah. And so they snowboard, free fall, skydive from all of like 10 to 15,000 feet.
Which, I mean, if
to
he's
be.
Batman,
Have to be.
he technically has his cape to swing him down.
And so does Robin.
It's an aesthetic.
Technically.
So they're-
but they
they're-
choose to surfboard through the air.
And who do they catch up to?
Real quick, side note. So, like,
ahead.
so when Robin comes through the door to help Batman out, he makes the insignia of the Nightwing Robin signal. When the missile explodes, how come it doesn't make the bat insignia? Just random. It's a bat bomb, so we make a just random. Sorry, go ahead.
Or are you talking about like Japanese fireworks?
Yeah,
like
I
it's
mean,
supposed to fucking illuminate this.
I mean, because it wasn't as good, maybe they just were like, people won't notice. Maybe it's fine.
And because that's only something that happens in cartoons. Go ahead. Anyways,
That was it.
thanks, man.
Go ahead.
So they escape the doomed to explode rocket.
Ooh.
Batman gets out. Robin gets out. Freeze is literally
He's almost gone, bro.
slow ride down.
He's chilling.
Yeah.
And so he just catches him. Boom! Diamond that we've
Got
yet
him.
to talk about.
Yeah. The thing that they were ice skating for and playing hockey over.
Sweet.
Playing hockey with this $1 million diamond.
So hockey's
million,
not
bro.
a hard sport, is what you're
I
saying.
didn't say hockey's not a hard sport.
It's not a difficult sport.
I'm saying the diamond is millions of dollars, and we're just smacking it around like it's a hockey puck.
You scratch my joint, man. It's
Yeah.
no problem, bro.
Which, if you look back, Freeze catches that shit out of.
Sweet.
I mean, bro.
Well, hey, Roman Reigns.
You're
SummerSlam
talking
2022.
where Brock throws the
sir.
mic. There's a lot of inside stuff. Anyways, so they're falling. They fall into like this chimney tube or something.
Yeah.
He's freezing the furnace. Why did he get all the bitch lines? We are dealing with a bitch Robin, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
whines, he whines a lot.
Yeah.
Like you're
A very whiny Robin.
They took the end of Dick Grayson's Robin period too hard here. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So they go into the furnace or whatever. Freeze, for whatever reason, like Kamehamehas himself
sir.
down to a soft landing.
It
But
was
that makes
smooth.
sense.
From 15
That man's
Robin
smooth.
like skated on a rooftop
Yep.
and had to like maneuver that
Yep.
while Clooney was like, hey, I guess I'll shoot from the wrist. Shing.
And you want to talk crap about what my guy did.
I'm just saying,
saying.
this
Smooth.
is all just to get it out there.
yeah.
So then they land. Freeze lands, and then they land. He's wearing at least, 150 pounds worth of gear?
Gotta be. That suit is heavy, bro.
Right? And
Yeah.
then they are just in skin-tight stuff, just sprinting through. I don't even know what to call this place. It's like vault door after vault. It's like a bank in a bank in a
Yeah.
bank. Why are there so many vault doors?
Playing
No,
tag, bro.
no security anywhere. Like nobody.
Well, no, and it's snowing inside of each. Like, how hard does that have to be to clean? That's a difficult Gotham, if you ask
right.
me.
Okay.
So the janitor,
I see you.
That's
I see
that.
you, Rob.
Okay,
I see you,
they're
Rob.
they're
Okay.
working the hardest out of
you
anybody.
sweep
here.
that. You
Yeah, yeah.
sweep that.
They're the
Oh, it's
janitorial.
not necessarily.
let it melt.
You think the businessmen make the money? No, the janitors in Gotham makes the
They
money.
make pennies.
They have to get paid
the,
because
the
nobody's
big
gonna,
Two-Face pennies.
Senor
nobody's going to do that job for pennies on the dime.
Senor Wayne, I have to clean your
Don't do
vaults.
it, Rob.
It's okay, $50 an hour. We got you.
All right, Rachel. Okay, so they're going through that, and the camera is like right behind Freeze,
sir.
and then you pan to them, and you would think that they're like 70 feet back, and so they eventually get through the last part where Freeze is closing the door, and he fucking like opens his chest in between like the vault door and the whatever, And so he opens it, and he goes, I got him. And to Hank's point,
Robin, wait.
Robin, no. No way.
Oh, wait.
He jumps at him
There you go.
and freezes Robin instantaneously.
Rookie move, bro.
In midair.
Rookie move,
So
bro.
stupid.
Okay. What will it be, Batman? Chase me or unfreeze the boy or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
And so Batman is caught in his first true conundrum. He already just like nonchalantly just ditched Robin and went onto the rocket. It was like, fuck whatever happens to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to get freeze. So you can kind of count that as the first one. Runs into this and he goes, I guess, that's why you're soft. As you're soft, he gets called soft and he's like, I'll kill you next time.
I'll kill you next time. Yeah.
And so he's like, so he stands there and in a weird, misplaced bath,
Yeah, no, like
dips a full,
please explain to me why there was
all of 6 foot. He's 6'1".
whole
Yes, sir.
body of water there.
Bed Bath and Beyond Gotham.
Yeah.
And then
it's not even
uses-
like he was frozen in a like casual thing. He was
Right,
frozen
right,
running,
right.
so you
Dude,
not even think about height
Were,
wise.
were y'all scared? That
With
that
light.
scared the shit out of me as a kid. I was like,
But
this
when
is
he got
legit.
frozen?
Like, how deep is that thing, bro?
Oh yeah, like, that's
Pussy.
what I'm saying. Well, no, that's
Pussy.
what I'm saying. What kind of business / company has that deep of water?
and
just
he's kind of,
anywhere.
it's
in
kind
the
of weird
building?
because he's kind of like floating. He's like,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's stretched out. He's
How about-
not even just
How about
regular.
How about
He's
this?
stretched out.
Lazarus Pit vibes. Just saying.
And I mean, I guess that could have been what they were going for, but then it was like,
I know a little bit too far of a stretch. But
all right.
at what
So
point do
again,
you have the products to then superheat a pool of water?
again, he goes,
Okay. Yeah, and that's my
Brings
point.
out-
Trek.
So
Star
hold
Trek,
on.
baby.
I
They-
had this heat gun that I could have used against the ice guy.
That's great.
This
There you go.
entire time.
Sorry, Tom.
But I only whip it out for this body of water to just so happenly unfreeze my guy. Like,
so very quickly shocks the system.
Did we get him?
He wakes up. He goes, "Did we get him?
yeah.
Did we get him?"
Yeah.
How would you know? You were frozen, bro.
In time.
Yeah, usually when somebody's super cooled, you want to gradually bring them back up to room temperature. No, we immediately bring this guy back up to room temperature,
In about
pull
5
him back
seconds.
out as if nothing, and it's like, did we get him?
He
Like,
doesn't know
that's
where
the
he's.
least of your worries right now, guy.
But
sit back down for
it's
like
not-
10 more minutes. Like,
It's not like the ice is thick enough to where he couldn't see through it. We could see his eyes. So if he's truly frozen in time,
I mean, if you want to really talk about it, his eyeballs are frozen. at
we're
that
getting
point.
into
Like,
the
let's be
science
honest.
of this.
Ooh, yeah.
If you want to get into the science of this,
Sure, but his heart doesn't stop.
we don't know how deep the ice goes.
So what I'm saying is he was just basically caught in
Like
time.
his mouth was open. He was mid-run. Like his mouth was open. That crap.
So he gets frozen.
Yeah,
Boom.
okay.
Cutscene
Okay.
where he's dealing with an angsty Robin, where he's like, "Yeah, we can go back out after you spend such and such time in the training simulator." And he's like, "Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I? Why do I gotta train? It wasn't even me. It was, And he's blaming all this, and he's dealing with a son for. I mean, not the first time you're dealing with him stealing motorcycles
Yeah.
not in the first movie because it was Batman Forever.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a whole different movie in Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
The other car.
I mean, we're essentially at the point now where we've had this kid for a while.
He's supposed to respect me,
bro. You were grown.
No,
You were a grown ass.
He's a teenager. He's a teenager.
but he knows who the captain is. Hey,
What teenager
I'm the captain
listens,
now.
What teenager listens to the captain?
okay, so you're dealing with an orphan that
Yeah.
got orphaned at 18 years
Yeah,
old.
We're dealing with an orphan that's
Well-
now deciding I'm gonna restart my teen years.
Well,
with this
Carl,
guy.
at this point, so Batman Forever.
You're not the dad of me.
Dude, oh my gosh. So this was what Batman Forever was 95. Batman and Robin was 97. So chronologically speaking, he was in college, so he had to be about 21, 22. Get the hell out of my house, bro. Get out my house.
No. Because then, hold on.
Good.
We're getting later into the movie where him still living there has its own aspects with an auction. Spoiler alert for what we're going to be talking about later. But yeah. Keep going with your bits.
My bits.
Your bits.
Okay. So
Every-
cutscene. Thunder.
Right.
Oh, so he has to add in the little after effects.
Hey
'cause
man,
goes to a
only Gotham has thunder, apparently. Oh.
This isn't even. I wouldn't even call this Gotham. This is in what, a jungle in Africa
At the
or something
Amazon.
like that.
Somewhere in New Jersey, Jason Woodrue does
stop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Swamp Thing research.
Yes, sir.
So that being said,
Floronic man, shout out.
who Professor? What's his name?
Just-
I don't know, but hold on. Let's talk about it being what's his name from Smallville?
Yeah.
John Glover, shout out
John Glover. Yep, John Glover being
Brilliant.
the scientist in that.
Mad scientist.
Yeah, the mad scientist
Lionel
in that.
Luthor.
Oh yes, sir.
Yep, Lionel Luthor.
Who not only has a creation on his hands, but a very fine doctor assistant.
Yeah,
She's naturally.
They
she's about mid.
essentially went behind and created the Venom
Yes, sir.
serum.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
So he, in front of the world's government, where this like top secret auction is going on,
Yep.
which it's not technically Gotham.
Okay.
And I will give you this part where he is creating.
That's the only thing that saves you is the fact that it's not Gotham.
where he's creating Bane.
the fact that
where
you can't relate this to Gotham.
This scrawny Robert Kane looking guy.
That turns into the size of Robert Vasquez.
No, he gets laid on the
I'm
table.
at least 5'4".
And
Okay?
Sir.
it's so it needed 2 guys to do this. I think there were like 4
Let me
guys.
tell you something. Even though Homeboy was
He's a little chihuahua.
he
Stop
was-
it.
No, yeah,
he was a fighter, bro.
But that was the thing that they were going with, like Chihuahua to Pit Bull.
Yes,
is
sir.
what they
to
were
chain
going
him
with.
down.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's like, this is Bane. This is what Venom can do.
Yeah.
Bane
Smash
Bane of humanity.
the fluid through the tubes. You were talking earlier.
And then he gets up and he goes,
well, hang
"They
on.
didn't know."
No. So
He gets up just,
Got him, let's
they
talk
didn't
about
know who I was until I put on the mask.
so that being said, he puts on this like luchador-esque mask.
Yeah,
It's dope.
Pumps the Venom.
because they didn't know who he was beforehand.
You
But yeah.
said, well, he hits him in the head, and that part really fucked me up. You said earlier where the freeze gun kind of fucked you up. The fluid going through
yes,
the
sir.
tubes
Yes, sir.
was
Yeah, yeah.
it really got
It's
into
a
me.
It's a visual, yeah.
that was
So you have that going on. Ivy.
because thinking about it, where does those things actually like inject into?
I mean,
Like they're
'cause
thick
it's-
tubes. They're
I
thick
imagine
tubes.
it's a brain chemical thing.
It's like
Yeah, but-
Matrix
Going
kind of.
right into your
Yeah, but it's not
spine.
even that. It's just like if you look at the comic book, like the old comic book Bane, it goes all around his body too.
Right,
Like,
right,
it-
right.
Like does
Straight
this
into the
dude just-
veins.
Does this dude just have holes in his body for the tubes to just
Possibly.
shoot into?
Into the vascular
Yeah.
areas. So you see. I mean, what's her real name? In this?
Dr. Pamela Isley.
Yeah.
Isley,
Thank
right?
you.
So she does the little like
Where's he doing?
peeking through the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's seeing all these guys and the Bane creation. So Bane turns into Bane. Now, not Bane from. We're keeping it cinematic, unfortunately.
because they didn't know who I was until I put
Shout
on.
out to comic book Bane. Guy's brilliant. He's
Of
a
course.
brilliant tactician. Go ahead.
He
By-
turns into the
Long head.
dumbest,
Long head, bro.
muscly.
My description for
Stereotypical.
comic book Bane is always if you put the muscles of that Bane with the brain of Dark Knight Returns
Okay,
Bane,
all right,
that's the Bane that you get from the comic.
Brain-
If they would have done that right.
Brawn,
they would-
brain, Bane.
They did
Yeah.
not do this time.
Nope.
They
They
created-
left him stupid.
They created like
They left him
no brain
roided
cell
up.
Hulk. Yeah.
They left him roided up
What-
with nothing to give.
Which makes no sense to me because this is around the time that Batman the Animated Series pretty much kind of ended its first run, but you already knew the household names of the characters were established. And
Sure.
They didn't.
You didn't even know this guy was a luchador.
Exactly.
Like, that was the thing about Bane. Like he was born in a prison.
And in prison by his mom.
Yeah, his mom was raped in a prison.
Crazy. Dark
And-
stuff.
Like Bane's backstory is dark, and they didn't give us any of that in the movie. So
And yet the animated series came out with the character not too long after that movie came out.
What they gave us was somebody who was not to be fucked with
because they didn't
on
know
a
who he was
on a
before he
physical
put on the
level.
mask.
On
Yeah,
a
yeah.
physical level, the guys who end up strapping him down, he breaks the chains.
Yes, sir.
They tried to get him back, and then just flung
up.
him. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong. There's even like a cartoony noise when he like
it does.
when he like flings the
And
guy.
he does like I think they call it.
or some
Oh no, I was thinking of the scream, like the Wilhelm scream.
Oh,
Don't they do
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Isn't that what it's called? The Wilhelm scream.
The Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
And then crashes and sparks fly like a Power Ranger just got shot
Yeah.
in the chest.
It's crazy visual.
And so he's like, Isley goes, Dr. Isley. And he like comes over. The evil scientist goes, he's like, you weren't supposed to see any of that. And she's like, my research is not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Da,
There
da, da.
it is.
And so he's going on and he's like, you know, we could work together. We could be a love interest. We could do this. We could rule the world with an iron fist with his venom. And she's like, you psycho. And he goes, well, I understand where you're coming from, but unfortunately,
I guess
you're
you
gonna
have to die.
die. But and then for no reason, he could just be like, bitch. He goes, "Ugh," and like pushes her.
I do like the scream that he added into it.
just straight 1950s with it, man.
Like just so over aggressive.
And she falls into all the chemicals.
Yeah.
Snakes, poison ivy.
Almost quite similar to how somebody else became a villain in their own movie. Or in a different Batman movie.
How Max Shrek pushed Catwoman out the window and she became Catwoman.
I was gonna say.
If it was so good they did it once, they might as well do it again, huh? Except with a different villain.
Hey man, you alright?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Just he's trying to comprehend how we did it good first.
She melts into the ground.
Bro, that's crazy too.
6
okay.
feet under.
Yeah. Okay, I will give you
That's
that.
crazy,
Like,
too.
them dropping her under the ground.
And then there's dead silence.
Was wild.
There's dead silence. And then all of a sudden, again, like from the ground, she rises up.
Ascension.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
That comes later.
So she, all of a sudden, loses her glasses, becomes a. I mean, let's all be honest here.
Uma
She
Thurman
bad, dog.
as
Oh,
that character.
Batty,
bad, dog.
just
She
fucking
bad, dog.
Dr. Isley.
They planned
Pamela.
They planned that scene with Uma Thurman before they actually planned the rest.
Oh,
of
sure.
Ivy.
Facts, bro.
They were
They
like,
had- they had to
how good can we make you look coming out of the ground
No.
for no reason?
She was
with
natural.
glasses off.
They had to nerdify her to make her
Yeah.
ugly.
Yeah,
She
they
was
did.
never
They
truly
did. She's all that.
Right.
They did the
So-
she's all
Still
that.
fine.
That being said, she comes out of the ground
Ascends.
and ascends out of the ground,
sir.
and so she basically comes back up, and he's like,
Pamela.
changes his tune immediately.
Well, but hold on. This also happens immediately. This isn't like.
Oh, yeah,
This
100%.
isn't like.
Nine,
This isn't even
10
like.
minutes
Yeah,
go
this
by.
isn't even like
This is-
30
There was
minutes
something-
later.
There was something
This is
happening.
like-
There was something happening.
This is
between
like
then it came
5
back.
seconds. She
Yeah.
just dropped into the ground. 5 seconds is all it took for all that stuff to apparently get into her body
No,
and then to pop back
the
up. They're like,
toxins.
There was something that happened between that, and then they cut back to it.
Yeah.
It happened after about maybe like 10 minutes after that. but-
Right.
maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fine.
So-
okay. That's how long it takes for everything to get into your system. Sure.
She's just gonna forget that
It's
he
that good of
just
stuff,
tried
man.
to kill her.
Yes, sir.
And so he falls for this like weak seduction. Any of us would have fell for it.
Pamela.
And she plants a kiss on him, justifying the reason that she did the whole thing and turning into this character and
Hold on.
poisons.
And immediately understood what her powers were.
That's what I'm
by
saying. How
the
do you
way.
know that you're looking- how do you know that you're looking for venom?
She immediately understood kissing this man
That my lips
is gonna kill him.
are
Like,
filled
like-
with venom. How
exactly.
do you know that?
Like, yeah, exactly.
It's plants and pheromones. It's a hive mind.
Okay.
No, this is it. This is it. Shit.
Well, then burn the ground, guys. Like, obviously, Poison Ivy's never gonna die at
She
that
goes,
point.
I'm poison. He goes,
Yeah.
come on.
That's
B.
some acting classes, bro.
John Glover, though, like doing
Brilliant,
that.
man.
You couldn't have found a better person to play that.
Side
role.
note, real quick, since we're talking about all of this, who played? I know this. Since we're talking about, it's still connected. Played the Riddler in the Batman. The
Oh
Animated
yeah,
Series.
yeah. He
yeah.
was the Riddler
Killed
in
the shit
Adam,
out of
in Adam
Shout
West
out to that
Batman.
man.
Back to the movie.
He's the longest running Batman
God.
actor like there is.
Rest in peace to them all, man. Rest in peace to them all.
R.I.P. Pharaonic Man for this movie, though. He fucking never gets to fight Swamp Thing.
No. Okay, so that being said, back cut scene
Boom.
to
What's next? What's Oh, they're at the
Is this where
the Astro? What do you call that? Not the museum, but
the astrological kind of like the
conservatorium.
telescope.
The astrological conservatorium. Yeah.
And so she finally displays like the Dr. Isley kind of like I'm gonna hide in plain sight kind of thing,
Nice. Yep.
almost like one other character
Oh
from
my
an older
God, here we
Batman
go.
movie.
and meets for the first time in public Bruce Wayne, who is not alone. he's accompanied by a love interest, correct? So they're at the astrological dome, and he's confronted about some like kind of like global warming, like
something like that. Policies,
what's gonna happen, and he gets caught in this like debate like live in front of these like all reporters, and she goes, what happens when this is gonna happen, and when the polar ice caps melt, and this, and then some bougie reporter that is
we got you. We gonna do that later.
From Batman Forever.
It's Bruce Wayne. Oh, Brucey. Bro, check
Brucey.
Bro, check her draws.
She goes,
God.
you must be new here. Batman and Robin will save us. And you're just kind of like, okay. These are the naive-minded people of said whatever. Mm-hmm. So he kind of displays like a gotcha moment where he like gently eases her down from her existential crises or whatever she's got going on.
Literally playing George Clooney. George Clooney playing the entire time.
With the love interest by his side.
Elle Miller, I believe she's like one of the most famous models of the entire and all.
Is that who it was?
Elle something. Oh my gosh, sorry, her name is Elle something. But
so what I failed to mention is when Batman leaves the cave after the whole like Superman works alone.
Yeah.
Alfred is like, all right, well, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
And kind of like mysteriously goes back into. Look at her! Wow.
Elle McPherson, shout out Elle McPherson, timeless.
So, Alfred kind of eases back into the Batcave wardrobe kind of thing. You can kind of tell something's up. It's not the same. It's been like in Batman Forever. He goes, "I'll order a pizza," or he's like, "I'll get drive-through," or whatever.
No. Would you like to take a sandwich with you, sir? I'll get drive-through.
Right. So, something's up with Alfred. Yeah. Something's up with the love interest. Something's up. He's going day by day, Bruce Wayne, night by night, Batman, with a very angsty Robin. It turns out someone shows up at his door. And I'm not doing this in chronological order. Someone shows up at his door, and who is it? It is
let's talk about it.
College chick.
Man.
Who's
she finally
Uncle Alfred. Uncle Alfred. Robin answers the door and he's like, please
be looking for me.
Please be looking for me. And it's like,
please be looking for me.
All right. She's not. She's looking for her Uncle Alfred, which makes
no sense.
I mean, little to no sense.
No sense. It's Commissioner Gordon's daughter and everything else that's ever been. But in this particular continuity, you're
I don't think we really had Gordon in this movie so far much, have we?
But besides the FaceTime.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had to have her related in some way, somehow.
It makes sense. Okay. It makes sense. I mean...
Okay, so we got him for like a quick minute, but he's not a relevant character in the series so far, enough for them to make her related to him.
No.
I see you, Rob. Facts. There you go.
So, that being said, immediately moves in with him. You immediately have another mouth to feed, which you are a billionaire, Bruce Wayne, whatever. It's not that difficult.
No. She's living off of Pennyworth's money. Like, she's his guest.
She's stealing his motorcycle.
I'm kidding.
Okay. She's stealing his motorcycles to go with Coolio, illegally street racing.
Hey, banker, how much coin to play?
Fun for me.
2.5.
Fun for me. Get him, Spike. Fucking kid. All right. So that being said, Robin, he picks up on this, and so he illegally street races with her. His kids are just running wild through this whole fucking shindig.
Straight buck.
And so he's dealing with that. It turns out she's raising money with this illegally street race money or whatever because Alfred's sick.
Alfred's not sick. He's dying. Dying? That's what I just said, bro.
So you think Alfred wants to be your butler forever? You think Alfred... She's giving him attitude. He's getting it from all ends.
So much friggin' sass.
She fine though.
So hang on. So...
Like, girl, we just met you.
Clueless,
You've barely become a prominent character.
You clueless, ain't you?
But she has a lot of attitude. She's coming out of the gate. She's, college, whatever. And he's like, you're going back to school. And you're... Anyways, that's spoilers. Yeah. So... I'm trying to gain traction here because so much is flying at you through the movie. Bane and Poison Ivy team up.
Yep.
Bane, darling. And so she's like, she ends up, the astrology thing, I think he ends up driving her to that or somewhere. And she's like, we have monkey work or something. It's like, monkey work.
Yeah, he
Just
does
the
nothing
most
but grunts.
simplistic, dumb pit bull-esque character that there can be. She puts her little wig on, which I don't like redhead wigs. That's just me.
It's the whole thing.
So
Guess what? Poison Ivy's a redhead. So.
Poison
Pamela
Ivy.
Isley,
But
Pamela
then she,
Ivy is
anyways, all right,
a
cool.
redhead.
Isley, yeah.
So she needs a new layer, I guess. She needs a new place to hang out.
It's that simple glasses look that her hair looks too good as Ivy to be able to pass as some scientist.
Let's talk about it, yes, sir.
But when she's Ivy, she takes Bane and tries to create this makeshift layer where she plants the seeds and all the flowers. But she kicks out the guys from the first one.
Yes, sir. Who those leftover
the neon the guys that Robin essentially almost single-handedly beat up before they're like.
That was a dope scene. He took out their leader, and they're still trying to jump on him.
So that being said, she goes to this new layer. Yes, dude, jacked.
Yeah.
Is this on screen? Put it on screen.
Look at the size of that man.
Jacked.
That's my point. I forgot how Bane looked exactly until you actually put it up there.
He's a former wrestler, and I think he passed away. So RIP to that man.
RIP for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the tag team.
Dude, it works.
So
It works.
So you have this whole they're by the way, they're doing these behind the scenes where they're showing Nora Freeze and they're getting into the heartstrings of Mr. Freeze and why he's doing what he's doing. He has to gather all these diamonds and crystals to power his suit so he can further his research and
the gorilla costume. I forgot about that.
Stop.
I forgot about that being a thing.
The
Sorry,
auction
it passed
scene.
by.
The
It
auction.
passed by.
YouTube the auction scene real quick.
Oh, the auction scene.
Where they
Where
hang on.
Batman admits to having millions of dollars,
Diamonds.
almost like somebody else who's prominent.
We're gonna sit through the hang on, just a second.
Hi there.
We can't share though. You can hear though.
And you are
Poison.
Poison Ivy.
Jeez, look at her. Divine.
All right. Pause it.
Divine, bro.
So this is another supernatural power, apparently a pheromone.
that she just pretty much immediately knew about because we haven't seen her tested on anybody else in the series.
True.
So maybe I'm going.
So she's just blowing on
No,
her
this
hand
is
and
before
it's-
Freeze, or
This is right before Freeze.
Yeah, this is.
so she
before
tries the
season.
pheromone on
Yeah.
Freeze after this. All right, go ahead. Oh,
Why not send Junior home early?
yeah.
I've got some wild oats to sow.
Okay.
Say less.
All right.
Say less.
I don't know if this is such a good idea.
Say less.
All right.
We're about 2 hours into this thing, bro. Might as well.
All right, so go ahead. Play it.
Youth does have its advantages. Endurance,
Talk to him.
stamina.
Talk to him.
Forget the geriatric bat. Come join me.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
garden needs tending.
I mean, anyway.
Talk to him.
I'll take it from here, pal.
Wouldn't you like the earrings too?
All right.
Some
Pause
lucky
it.
boys.
So, with all this being said, they're already naturally splitting. And I know I'm taking forever with this, but there's a lot to digest. They're already naturally angsty splitting. Now there's a love interest in their split, right? He already has a woman. Why is he worried about pointing out? Why is he worried about her, even with the pheromones? It doesn't make any sense how he's about to pay, what, $2 million?
That's the pheromones talking. That's the pheromones talking at that point. You still
$6
gotta
million.
understand, Batman's still a man that's still
His Bruce Wayne's
Susceptible.
leaking.
susceptible to magic, like toxins.
Okay, help me.
all of that other stuff. No. But I'm saying
You're helping me with my point.
No, because you're playing off the fact that it's just a villain playing one man.
So
not
then
playing
Bruce
this-
Wayne,
not
or
playing
sorry,
Gotham
then
in
Bruce
general.
Wayne falls susceptible to this hot Poison Ivy
Yeah.
auctionee who people are, and I'll give however $1 million or whatever, or $50,000 for whatever. And so, as they set up, this was a setup for Mr. Freeze to come get the diamonds. He breaks in. She tries to use the pheromone on him, and it doesn't work.
Pheromone dust.
What? Pheromonal dust.
Pheromone dust.
So,
Hand over the diamond.
where do they go from here after this? They get chased, right? Where they end up.
Hot Wheels, freaking Mattel Hot Wheels setup,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, dog.
So where it's like a vat or whatever. So that being said, they get in a fight. Bane's there. Batman's fighting Bane. Robin's fighting Batman.
Hold on, are we skipping over the auction scene?
I mean, of course. I mean, do
Are
you
we
want-
skipping over the auction scene? We're skipping.
it already
over-
happened.
No, yeah, but I'm saying we're skipping over the fact that, like, you know, Batman's trying to bet money that essentially tells everybody that he's Bruce Wayne. And then Robin is like,
Okay, hang
I'm
on,
going
go
to
ahead.
borrow the
Right
money
here.
from you.
You
Like,
got-
no, hold on. You're
Back
not.
up just a little
you're
bit,
not
maybe
gonna-
30 seconds.
You
Maybe-
too, boy.
Back up maybe 30 seconds.
But that's like,
All right, hang on.
That's a utility belt, not a money belt. 6 million.
7 million.
Batman Forever.
Goth
The name
card,
of the
baby.
movie.
Goth
The-
card,
the-
baby.
The name of one of our movies, by the way.
Just in case you didn't know this was all connected.
Yeah. Batman Good Through Forever. Gotham.
Never
I like
decay without
it.
You
That's
two
good.
boys aren't going to
That's
start
good.
fighting
Gotham.
over little old me now, are you?
Yes.
But then Robin's betting money that he's essentially saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna borrow it from you."
That's
Like,
the
what do you
whole
mean?
point, bro. You're living in my house. You want independence.
Yeah, like-
and you want independence. And you want to treat like you.
I'm gonna
like
borrow.
equal.
I'm gonna borrow it from you. Get out right now. Go home.
bro.
Pack your bags. Don't
Bye,
even
bro.
take off the suit. Go home. Pack your bags right now. Get the out. Like,
Then you want to talk about the chase scene?
Goth card. Okay, my bad. It didn't say Gotham. It said Goth card. My bad.
You want to go about the chase scene? It's pretty bad, bro. It's badass though. Like
The chase scene.
The emotional components. So you want? So
Mike.
oh, sorry, my bad. So following this, at this little juncture, we have obviously they're fighting over Poison Ivy. Then Mr. Freeze comes in. They have the confrontation. Well, not the confrontation, but interaction with Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. And pretty much Mr. Freeze owns Poison Ivy. He's like, hand over the Diamond Garden gal, or I turn you into mulch.
I'm
But
trying.
who's got the card?
Yeah. But she sees.
It's
that-
a rhetorical question. Who has the card?
Who has the card? Yes, but she understands she's probably going to get more from Robin than she's going to get from Batman because she
It's that truck money.
like it's,
Bro, what are you doing? Where did you
No,
get
you
that?
do not
That's,
have
bro,
that.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
That's a
Is that?
flex.
Please tell me it's real. Like,
That's a
please
flex.
tell me. Please tell me you like got yourself a
No,
debit card.
no,
God,
it's a movie
I
prop.
would have. I would have done. This is something I would have done. I would have found.
Cha-ching!
And it's got the Robin logo on the
Yeah,
back.
it
of
has the
That
Robin.
is that's baller.
God.
That's
6
clean.
million.
Heck yeah. Just swipe that anyway.
That's what's
Just be
up.
like, but it's a valid card. It's Goth card. Don't you see that? Goodness.
Anyways,
But
who has the power?
like she understands Batman has the power, but she understands Robin's the up and comer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what
The next in line.
Yeah, I see. Like, I think she realizes that. That's why she starts to play more off of Robin in those scenes than she does off of Batman.
Right. So we lead into
Mr. Freeze.
a Mr. Freeze like wild chase scene where Bane ends up fighting Batman and Robin, and then Batman and Robin fight themselves, and Robin falls into a vat, which should,
Pudding.
to my partners,
Second time in the movie,
evidence.
he ends up in a body of water.
to my partners.
This is very true.
Oh, he falls into a
Oh,
vat
no.
of stuff, ice cream.
Jesus
I think it's key lime ice cream.
He's
by the way.
like, oh,
Sherbet.
I'm Rainbow Sherbet Robin.
That's probably the That's probably the hardest part for Gotham. The fact that they have key lime ice cream just somewhere in there.
Getting there, bro. It's
right.
like the Joker fish, bro.
Like
It's
they
not the Joker
obviously
fish
they obviously were living a bad life if that was their choice of sweets at that
and it's
point.
green too. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, it's Girl Scout cookie
Yeah.
mint.
Yeah. It's Riddler green. It's the mystery flavor.
You know what? That's actually they were trying to promote off the villains that were suddenly
Come
coming.
on.
through
That
their
was very
town.
true because look at Mr. Freeze's lockup. They had the showcase all the past.
So we're dissecting the movie
Yep.
as is, and so I feel like we're missing the point of expressing the difficulty of said Gotham in
Yeah,
Batman and
'cause-
Robin. Hang on, I'm trying to break this down.
These
There
are
are
all
so
things
many
that are
elements.
happening to the
We're
character
talking
themselves.
about this an hour more than we talked about your Gotham.
because I pointed out
Preach.
Everything that happened, everything that was going on was happening to the city itself. Everything that's going on here is happening to the characters, the main characters.
Okay, all right.
But to Robert's point, Freeze.
Wait, which Robert?
Robert Dylan.
I'm Bob Kane. Remember?
Bob Kane. Bob Kane.
I'm
Robert.
The creator. You're
Bob Kane. And,
Bob Kane.
And
Holy shit, Bob Kane?
Shh, we can't tell everybody that.
The creator of Batman?
We can't let everybody know.
Is this breaking news on my fucking podcast?
I've been trying to keep a low profile all this time.
Oh God, you got reincarnated? Hang on.
That's why I have such strong values about these movies, because they've done my characters wrong.
Have you done a B.O.B. lyric video on YouTube before? No,
Listen, those quadratic planes get pretty hard.
All right, it'll be irrelevant. It'll be irrelevant. Fine.
So to Robert Dylan, to his point, Freeze did something that honestly no other villain up until this point, from Tim Burton to the Schumacher's films.
And what's that?
He froze the city.
I'm sorry. The city wasn't threatened with zeppelins of gas over them.
That's facts. But
Okay. Well, I didn't see any dogs affected.
I'm sorry.
I didn't see any bulldogs
your
frozen while they pissed on the street.
Your movie ended with "I saw the light."
don't do it. Don't do it.
I did open the eyes, I saw the light. Can we talk about that?
I mean, you got me in a conundrum here.
That's for the end. We're saving that for the end.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did have the hardcore, dirt bike Hardy Boys.
I tried to introduce that, and it was looked over Batgirl's not really affecting my pockets this much.
We did, yeah. That was the hardest scene right there. We did have all that
With Coolio.
With Coolio.
Rest in peace.
And the midget
guys-
Spike. Little person Spike.
You guys did have the hardest cameo in there from Coolio. I'm sorry. I mean,
as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life. All right, so
this is what I was.
Stop it. Wrapping up, you have
take two of these and then call me in the morning.
He's a doctor. He's a doctor.
Goodness gracious!
If the late great, shout out the late great Mickey Goff, if he was not in this movie, never mind the fact that he was the anchor for this entire franchise throughout the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, had he not, this was an Alfred movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Had he not been in this film, this movie would have been trash.
So we're talking way too long.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alfred's sick. Robin's a bitch. Batgirl is a bitch.
Random. Coming into my house.
Mr. Freeze.
She honestly didn't need to be in the movie. They
Mr.
just
Freeze
threw her in for plot.
Froze the whole city. Poison Ivy is all about nature taking over and taking reign. Bane, as Pitbull as he was.
Because nobody knew who he was before he put on the mask.
Get the two.
So you're dealing with a plethora of villains that, I mean, not to knock on your villain, sprayed laughing gas on people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
George Clooney is a villain because he
you brought my point.
He ignored Elle McPherson.
You go. Ivy. You just called me Ivy. Who's Ivy?
The most iconic one,
which is the lamest girlfriend-ish that you can do. Go.
Elle McPherson, bro.
Oh yeah, Ivy. You just called me Ivy. No, baby. Nah, baby. I didn't call it. No. I was talking about my taint. My taint got poison ivy. I don't know what I was thinking.
Elle McPherson, one of the most iconic models of all time. You're dating her. That's a Bruce Wayne flex.
Has another woman on the brain.
Mind.
And you know what he does?
That's hard.
He puts this up.
Yes, sir. And she comes back.
6 million.
Essentially telling everybody, I'm Bruce
Batman.
Wayne.
Yeah, I mean,
no. In the Batman voice, I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yo, everybody goes, Batman's got money?
Yeah, Batman's got money.
Batman's got money.
It's like
That's crazy.
It's like the Clark thing.
Crazy.
It's like the Clark thing.
The only other rich person we have in Gotham is Bruce Wayne.
He goes, yo, Batman's got 6 million to spend on this hoe?
Is he richer than Bruce Wayne? We need to backtrack this, guys. Where does his money come from?
She did have like a hot entrance. But I mean, I mean, she's not that hot. She's not $6 million hot.
I mean, obviously she didn't blow in their face.
I'll borrow from you. So what I'm saying is, you have the arrogance of somebody trying to like reach into your pockets, being like, "I'm gonna pay for this fucking whore." Sorry.
Doesn't sound like a problem for Gotham. Sounds like a problem for Batman and Bruce Wayne.
So if you wake up as Bruce Wayne, if you wake up as Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne, and you have to deal with the Gotham put before you, I'm saying the headache that involves the Gotham that you wake up with as George Clooney's Bruce Wayne Gotham.
No,
you go. Hang on.
Dealing with it as
You go, oh,
Batman.
fucking Alfred's sick. Robin's a bitch.
I got this.
Batgirl's a bitch. I got this hot ass side chick that wants to fucking get in my trousers.
you actually.
You got Arnold Schwarzenegger with all of his
Ice Punzai.
which he has a very noble Quezt. He has a very noble Quest in saving his wife, and then you have Bane, this fucking meathead. He's like, I gotta beat this fucking. It's like, come on, you have to connect the dots, and you're like,
But then
I don't want to get out of bed today.
But then what's an even more headache to kind of.
But that's still dealing with it as Batman. In
Okay.
in mine, you have actual Bruce Wayne going and dealing with company.
He froze the whole city. He froze the whole fucking world.
And then was defeated by Sunshine.
Oh well, they had to.
Defeated by Sunshine.
They had to upside down because Batgirl is a fucking IT specialist.
Genius,
all of a sudden.
baby.
It's like, you're doing it upside down. You need to do it like this.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
watch you learn, little boy.
so annoying.
But you're talking about a Batman. Or
I got you.
A Bruce
And then
Wayne
she goes,
who's
no,
only dealing.
I
with,
got you.
You're talking about a Bruce Wayne who's only dealing with Batman problems. I'm talking about a Bruce Wayne who dealt with Batman problems and Bruce Wayne problems because he's dealing with company stuff. He's dealing with
So the
corrupt
girlfriend thing is not
politicians.
the girlfriend thing. It's not a
No,
Bruce.
at that point he goes tomorrow and gets a new girlfriend.
No, hang on.
Who might be Pamela Isley
Sure.
/ Poison Ivy.
He gets a
because
call-
he done kicked out Robin for trying to use $6 million of his dollars
Hang on.
to hook up with this chick.
So he gets a call from his bank tomorrow. It's like,
Yeah, no.
Mr. Wayne,
On the red phone.
Mr. Wayne, there was a charge to your card for $6 million. It says for
Robin?
escort services.
No. Environmental escort service.
Environmental services.
Environmental escort services. Yeah. He obviously already has that in mind if he's willing to just whip out a bat card for his that's connected to his own bank account.
Like that.
Yeah.
Got him.
We're not they're not giving me the satisfaction of like understanding, oh yeah, he's thought this all the way through. No, I just amazingly have a bat card that has $6 million that magically came from not Bruce Wayne's account.
So when you think about it, really, in the movie, Poison Ivy really is the problem because she ends up manipulating Freeze because she unplugs
Nora,
and that pisses him off, and he was about to kind of like
blamed it on Batman.
blame it on Batman, by the way.
The guy who has not been anywhere near her at any point.
And somehow has magical footage while he's tied up in vines.
Yeah.
And somehow it's recorded from the perfect angle.
Right. Like, what kind of hacking is he doing to automatically
Go ahead.
This here is why Alicia Silverstone is in the movie. She's the one that got the footage because she was the one that fought Poison Ivy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did Mr. Freeze just happen to have footage going
As I
on of
told
his
Nora
life?
Freeze when I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show.
Because she
I mean, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that, yeah?
Because it was girls versus girls.
Shout out to Robin for the rubber lips though. Shout out to him for the fucking rubber lips.
He couldn't be made a bitch twice in the movie. Or, okay, no, 3 times in the movie. Got
Once,
froze.
Yo,
twice,
Batman
got
dipped
froze
him into that
3
thin mint.
times.
Yeah. He couldn't be made a bitch 3 times in the movie.
You weren't talking about being. What was the thing?
I want a Robin signal.
Yeah.
That's not something you want to deal with.
You were talking about being.
What would that even sound like?
So, to preface this,
Okay.
there will be no winner rewarded
Yeah,
today. We will throw this out into the ether. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications.
There is one that we forgot about.
Who do you think had the hardest Gotham? We're going to continue this. I'm just saying this is a reminder of like when you watch the end of this, there will be no champion crowned today.
Yeah.
It's because George Clooney had the hardest Gotham, right?
He had the.
He had a stack plate.
He had a
stack plate.
He had a lot going on for Batman.
I think you both.
Michael Keaton had a lot going on for Bruce Wayne.
You both have good points when you think about it. Even though it took your character 2 movies and it took.
No. It didn't
filled
take
with
my
one.
It didn't take my character 2 movies. It was good enough that I got 2 movies. Your character was carried on from somebody else's movie.
They crammed a lot. I mean, the thing about this, even Joel Schumacher said this movie should have been made, and he apologized. Because rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. The thing about it is, they were trying to plug him.
Oh, he apologized for making the movie that happened. He was sorry.
did.
He was sorry for putting out the movie.
Well, yeah, because it was about toys.
Okay. All right. So,
he apologized.
is there
putting
anything?
But still, it's a hard Gotham.
Yeah.
Still a hard
Is
Gotham.
there anything more that needs to be said about Michael Keaton's Batman and his Gotham?
I mean, yeah, he dealt with it from different aspects: the business
Political,
aspect, political,
personal.
like personal. Yeah, the Batman of it all. Yeah, like there was different aspects that he played off.
And
Of.
what's funny is, even with 2 films, like there really wasn't a lot of Batman in there in a lot of ways. There was damn near not enough Batman in the first one.
When we got Batman, it was for the villain.
True.
Sure.
Fact.
The villain that they were trying to portray as like this.
Not necessarily like the problems
When you
that
got
he's dealing with, right?
when you got the Bruce Wayne, you were seeing the everyday life aspect.
Mm-hmm,
You were seeing the okay, this is what's going on with my company. This is what's going on outside of my company. Like this is what I have to handle as a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
When you get the Batman, you get okay. I'm having to deal with this guy dressed in a Joker costume. I'm having to deal with this guy jumping in not only my personal life of business,
Yeah, but my personal life.
but also my Batman life as a friggin' penguin.
Mm-hmm.
And then also this hot lady in a leather suit
Man,
messing with my head.
let's
Ah,
talk about
man.
it.
Personally, and not even just as Catwoman, personally, because Bruce Wayne was also still meeting up with Selena Kyle on a personal level. And then
Okay.
That-
finding out about each other made that complicated.
That costume ball, the dramatic tension in that thing, boy.
Yeah.
Good God.
You had people dying. You had people dying in those movies.
When he like
Who died in yours? What happened there?
Everybody got a
Nora died. I guess.
He brought her back. He
He brought her back. He did.
That's right.
Hold
That's
on,
right.
hold
That's
on.
right.
That's
The
sacred.
plug wasn't completely pulled on her.
No, it was
I plugged my
no,
Yeah.
no,
I
no,
replaced her batteries. The bat batteries.
Your wife's
saved
not
her
dead.
life.
She's very much alive.
Yeah.
She's got
She's alive.
she's got Conor McGregor. She got Conor McGregor syndrome.
I'm not shouting out Conor McGregor. Sorry.
But like, so you had people dying from Gotham, the city that they're living in mind. I guess the scientist died in yours, but like you said, it technically wasn't in Gotham.
Well,
I just think the threat, the danger level, the danger zone, freezing the whole city, the threat was a little more catastrophic.
then when you
look at this, look at what was supposed to be Batman Unchained.
oh no. Who's
So
playing-
this-
who's playing Scarecrow?
So this that's Nicolas Cage. So
Oh God! If we would have had Nicolas Cage,
This-
I would have thrown.
I'm the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
this
no.
this movie alone
Scarecrow.
would have thrown
I'm gonna give you nightmares.
this movie alone would have thrown the entire argument out of whack because it would have brought back Jack Nicholson, confirming that George
didn't
Clooney
die.
is in fact Val Kilmer, is in fact Michael Keaton.
Yeah. I mean, no. Like you have to understand, like the fact that you have Alfred running through all these movies. This is essentially the same Bruce Wayne going through everything.
Okay.
Just from different aspects, and like that's where you cut into the nitty gritty of like, oh, okay, different producers, this and that.
So we're gonna post a poll on my Instagram and the MoonRouteStudios Instagram, on the YouTube channel, on any Reddit that you can find. Follow this journey of this exact debate, because I think for years now, it has been the hottest debate between this group of people. We are 4 Batman nerds in a room debating not who had the sexiest Batman suit, even though it's Clooney with the nipples.
Yeah, no, hold on, wait.
Forgot about the baddies. Don't forget about the.
Because we're gonna be coming.
We're
back,
about to do that.
We're gonna be coming back to the bat suits. Don't worry. I have a poll. I have my own list for us to do for the bat suits.
Right.
But I mean, we all have our own respects for each Batman in their own way.
Yes, sir. Respect.
I mean, Michael Keaton had it harder just because Gotham was a crap place in his movies.
Yeah.
It was so horrid and so good at the same time that he got to. Just saying, not piggybacking off of somebody else.
I mean, Vicky Vale and Catwoman. I mean, two of the baddest baddies in the Batman
Kim
history.
Basinger. Let's talk about it. Dear Lord.
I mean, having Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes,
Pfeiffer.
sir. She's so fine. She make you stutter for no reason.
Yeah.
And then Mariah Carey. Oops. I mean,
That's
listen.
Danny DeVito, Penguin.
Yeah, I mean, your guy brought Christmas back though, and then was beaten by sunlight.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's Mr. White Christmas.
Oh
He's
God, I
Mr.
hated that scene.
Come on,
so
sing.
bad.
You have Vivica A. Fox, one of the most prominent, finest black female actresses of all time, just having a cameo. Look, doing it like that, like that, and she's like, "Oh, turn up the heat in here." I mean, like,
Okay, so we are not done with the podcast.
No.
for sure.
We're done putting our. I mean, if you want to add anything
no, I
else,
mean,
sure, there were nipples on the suits.
I mean, I did like that your movie ended off with "I saw the light."
Okay, all right.
We're not gonna
It was
talk
the
about-
'90s. Come on,
we're
man.
not gonna talk about
Come on, man.
No, but let's. Well, side note, to me, like when the great thing about at least that time during Warner Brothers producing these shows, they had some of the slappingest tracks. We're talking about Smash and Pump.
Yeah.
We're talking about
100%.
YouTube. We're talking that. We're talking about Seal.
Yeah. Oh well.
Bro.
Yeah. 100%.
Making babies on that thing.
We have collectively a question.
Let's go.
Read that, will you, Robert Kane?
Who isn't it?
No. The question.
What is the ideal bat suit?
To you guys? We just went through that list. What's the ideal bat suit to you
So
guys?
the live action, any of them. God, not that.
Are we-
Not
are we-
that at
Come
all.
on.
Let's not.
You don't like the.
No, let's not.
That literally looks like
I'm
what?
sorry.
I watched The Flash
That's
last
but
week.
That and I understand like it's the Mr. Freeze, like that's what you would wear. That's
Sure.
what he would wear.
That's
going
clean.
to.
That's clean right there. The classic gold and black.
Yeah. I get that. So for me, it would either be the Michael Keaton or the Adam West. Yeah.
The Adam
That's
West.
bold, bro.
Because
the commitment, yeah.
The iconic
If you
color.
punched him in his solar
don't
plexus,
have-
he
you
would
don't-
feel every single.
No, okay, hold on. What is the ideal bat suit? Okay, you're right. Okay, let me rephrase that. The ideal bat suit would
Cinematically, let's keep it in
Or
theme.
Like what would
What would work
hypothetically
best?
you're casting the new Batman? What does his bat suit look like? What would you want it to look like?
What would I want it to look like?
I mean, in the parameters of keeping this cinematically, it's done right. I want Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah,
That would
100%,
be
yeah.
that would be my suit.
Yeah, if we're talking about overall, yeah, Batman Beyond's costume is
The excessive strength, the fucking extra, like the jetpack boots.
I mean, you pretty much have like what? Everything is embedded into the
the
suit.
armpit wing,
enhanced strength.
The
100%.
jet boost,
Yeah.
the jet booster boots, like you have all of that. Yeah, that's the iconic bat suit. If you want to keep it more like modern times,
Sure.
I'd say what the third Batman Arkham movie or the Batman Arkham game?
Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Arkham Knight. Yeah. Batman Arkham Knight. That bat suit would probably be the most on point.
If I'm
Bat
gonna try not to get emotional. If you're asking me, it's I gotta go with Arkham Asylum. To me, the fact that you're taking the late great, may he rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, who's multi-talented across generations.
So I think the third one is the,
good
is the
God.
Arkham Knight. The third one is the Arkham Knight. If we're talking about modern with
Dear Lord.
Bruce Wayne with Bruce Wayne as Batman, Arkham Knight bat suit
it's everything,
is,
man.
Is the bat
It's
suit I
everything,
want.
man. Like it's everything. It's perfection.
You have the heavy armor. You have the utility belt. You have everything.
Armor is cool. Yes, sir. I really don't like Batman wearing armor.
No, and I get that.
Personally.
But
think-
in Arkham Knight, you got to think about what he was going through in Arkham Knight.
Absolutely.
Like Scarecrow done took over the city. He's done released.
That's
that
another
arms over
debate
there.
for
armor-
another podcast.
Yeah, okay, fine.
That armor
Good
didn't help him with
Lord.
it.
But if we're talking about the most ideal Bruce Wayne Bruce Wayne, not Terry
Sure.
McGinnis.
Yeah,
If we're talking about Bruce Wayne, Arkham Knight would be the most ideal bat suit for me.
Wrapping it up on fucking slash onto unlocking memories. We're gonna go around the room.
Yeah.
And each in a very not 15-minute soliloquy, just what does Batman mean to you?
I knew you were gonna say it.
Oh, dude. Okay.
We'll start with Bob Kane.
Who wants to go first? Okay, me. Like, I was in tears. Like the year before Kevin Conroy passed away.
Yeah.
He was at GalaxyCon. I go to it every year.
Yeah.
He every year he pretty much hops up on his table and he does the I am vengeance.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
So getting to see that the year before he passed,
Right.
like brought me to tears when
Yeah.
he did die. Like
I'm
I
so
took,
jealous.
I honestly like him and Jason David Frank passed away like within a week or two of each other. Like,
Wrecked me.
ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That
wrecked
was
me. Yeah.
hard. I took a week off of work.
We talked about that. Dude.
I honestly took like my wife was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I
Hell
don't
no.
think I am." I was like,
Wrong with you?
This is my childhood right now." And she was
Right,
like,
right.
"Do you need to take time off?" I was like, "I got hours to put in. I'm taking a week off of work."
Right.
I took a week off of work.
Yes, sir.
After both of them passed.
I respect that, bro.
So I mean, my most iconic moment is just getting to sit down on after school and watching the Batman animated series.
It's gonna be
The
repetitive
theme
too.
song just popping up, just and seeing those Zeppelins in the opening scene, like that was iconic for me.
Shout out to the late great Shirley Walker.
Of course. Hank.
Fucking, Batman's that guy, man.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. He's as dark and edgy as Superman in his darkest, moments or whatever. He's just like a fuck it, feel better kind of. We need the job needs to get done at the end of the day, no matter what the expense is up here, and that's his whole game. And I fuck with that so heavy, man. Him and his Robins being a good dad to everybody, like.
Father and all these motherfuckers. out
You
here.
know, like he's got 4, or he's got like 6, but like, he's just a good guy, man. Like he is just a guy that trained himself in the mountains with the League of Assassins. Like that's why I think it's so sick that he wears like a cloth suit. Like Adam West, dog on him and stuff. Like he's great. But he's just running around in cloth. He could get shot.
Yeah.
Robin does the same shit. He's wearing a cloth suit. Like they're just zipping around like like Batman's that guy.
Speaking on behalf of just all Batman fans, I mean, you got the general stuff like no superpowers. Sure, he's like a Tony Stark billionaire, but he's like, what is he using it for? He's a playboy philanthropist at best, in his normal days, spending, time as Bruce Wayne. But when you see him as the Batman, he's not playing a character. He walks around his daily life as the Batman. The faces that he puts on is Bruce Wayne, the playboy billionaire.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I really resonated with his character when I was younger, watching BTAS, watching, as corny as it is, the Batman Forevers, the Batman and Robin. Like, I go, okay, this is a guy I can get behind. Yeah. And just means, just the world to me, just the discipline and the fear that he would strike into the villains that he had to go up against. I think that there's not a better portrayal of somebody who you fictionally admire to be than, like, if you woke up tomorrow and you go, I'm going to live my life exactly like Batman. It'll be dark, no pun intended, but I really don't think that you'll waste your life with martial arts discipline, with growing and saving your city or town, or being the hero that they need or deserve. I just think that there's not a better representation of who you could possibly admire to be when you're a young lad, rather.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, Batman was the thing about comic books and characters is that they've always been with me. It's never been a foreign language since I was 5 years old. And I remember one of my first memories, I was holding my Michael Keaton Batman action figure in my grandmother's living room watching X-Men, the animated series. It's one of my first memories. And to have my brothers here, to have everybody watching this that are Batman fans, knowing that the great thing about the character is that he's enduring for a reason. It's a simple message. Shit happened to me when I was a kid. I couldn't stop that bullet. Yeah. He's still trying to stop those 2 bullets from killing his parents. And the city is what he's protecting. And the fact that he'll always come back to Gotham no matter what's happening because he can't escape that. But the fact of the matter is he's so prepared that he's willing to do whatever he can for the world, for the universe, for the multiverse, whatever, but still always come back home to Gotham. It's a powerful thing for the producers, the animators, the fans, the actors and actresses that have helped keep the series going. It's amazing. My mom, shout out to her, because when I was 5 years old, she got me a birthday cake with Michael Keaton on it, and it was one of the greatest things ever. And to this day, having read so much about the character, for somebody to be such a loner, he's collectively gathered so much support behind him in the comic books and in real life. And he will always be, maybe besides Jesus, the greatest hero of all time. Yeah. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't have to have the money. Right. It's just a utility to him. So we're talking about the New 52, the Bruce Timm era Batman, absolute Batman. There will never be another Bruce Wayne, and that's the reason why the mantle can never be broken. I mean, you have your Terry McGinnis's, you have, obviously the Robins, obviously Dick Grayson is the second in line without question. Damian, he's either you like him or you don't. Either you like Barbara or you don't. You got Cassandra Cain, Kate Kane, Duke Thomas, so on and so forth. The diversity that they're allowing to happen with everybody bearing the symbol. It's like Spider-Man. But at the end of the day, there's only one Bruce Wayne.
And go ahead.
So playing off of what you said, Batman essentially had the first sidekick. Yeah, he did. Let's be honest about that. He had the first sidekick. Yeah. But then it grew into something.
Crypto! Don't do it. Hated that cartoon, man. Jesus. No. Go ahead. Say that for Shoemaker. Are you good?
I'm sorry.
But it essentially, it ended up turning into something more. This was a man that grew up without a family. Yeah. And then he ended up taking in Dick Grayson to Jason Todd to Tim Drake, yes, sir. To then more and more. And
who's the Stephanie? Stephanie
Brown.
Spoiler. Yes, daughter of what's his name?
Cluemaster.
Yes, so he literally took the daughter of a villain and helped make her into her own hero. Yeah. And so he made it a safe place for them all to be able to come back and connect with, as if they're all brothers and sisters. Yeah.
He's a therapist.
He gave them something that he essentially didn't get to have. And he made that a safe place for them. But there's two quotes from the comics that I always like to go back to. One was, I think it was after Crisis on Infinite Earths when Batman was dead.
Sure.
Final Crisis.
Was it Final Crisis?
Yes, sir. Dark Side.
Okay, so yeah. They were holding the funeral for Bruce Wayne, and Alfred looks at Superman and goes, he held in the shadows so you can stand in the light.
Talking about
doing the dirty work.
Yes, sir.
So that he could be the thing that everybody else looks up to. He understood being the villain. Not necessarily the villain. He understood doing the hard things that nobody would appreciate so that somebody else could be something that they hope to be. Yeah.
So
because essentially, if Superman had to make the same decisions Batman did, nobody would have any
and you have more power than the guy.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you think about that. When you think about the tumultuous environment that is Gotham, it's dirty, it's dingy, it's hopeless. There's this dark night. This signal shines in the sky. For the first time, there's brightness, there's hope, and people don't realize how much hope that Batman is in a lot of ways. He's more hopeful than Superman in a lot of ways. Yeah, which is crazy. And I know as much people complain about the Twilight. One of my favorite things about that movie was you've always seen Batman in the shadows, right? But when you see him in his early days in year 2, and after the whole bombing incident happens, and you see him literally being at the forefront, helping all those people in that stadium, he doesn't have to do anything. Yeah, he's in the trenches with them. And then the National Guard or whoever comes in or whatever, and he's carrying this lady from the disheveled stadium or whatever, and he's placing her on a gurney. She grabs his hand, and he looks her dead in the fucking eyes and said, I got you. It's okay. That's right there when I was like, that's Batman. Hey, you don't have to like Robert Pattinson. No, you want to shout out Robert Pattinson. Sure, yeah. But the way he did that, nobody spent more time on camera in that bat suit. And when you get to see the real identity of Bruce Wayne as Batman, and you see those emotional moments with his eyes, with his actions, that's what makes Batman timeless.
Yeah.
He went through all that crazy stuff, but he never lost hope.
And that's where that
Beautiful.
movie that's where that movie comes in really hard, because you see him understanding what Batman could mean to the city, more than just like getting his vengeance, more than just like
Cleaning up the
setting
streets.
things right.
He's realizing he can multitask.
Yeah, it's realizing that he can do more and set an example by doing the harder thing.
I've got surveillance contact lenses. I have contact lenses.
I can record everything.
I'm in the club.
He's got.
But like,
I'm seeing Catwoman shake her ass.
but like even that for Final Crisis, like him holding that gun and pointing it at Doomsday or Darkseid was just such a hard scene for him. Like even him alone, because even he was like, "I'm making an exception for you."
Bang,
bang, shooting that gun. Like
Okay.
that was a heavy toll on him.
So wrapping up, finally,
Yes, sir.
we've put our debate out into the ether. All of you Questers and everybody included can debate who had the hardest Gotham cinematically. I have a couple surprises for you, my friend. Thank you. I want to thank you for coming on to the Quest as the literal first guest that there's ever been.
Well, this has been a joy for me, so I appreciate it.
History. Round of applause, gentlemen.
I want to give a shout out to my co-host, my boy Henry, and then my moderator, who's been, by my side. I'm trying not to get emotional. By my side since day one of this whole thing.
You already know what it is, bro.
I just want to show my appreciation to you by giving you a gift. Two,
I'm
but
gonna cry.
no, this one. So.
Ooh, that's clean.
This is for you.
That's clean, boy.
This is for you.
Is that like a stack of cards?
Show the cam. Show the cam. Open it up. The front opens up.
Oh, the front does open up. I don't know if I want to see that. Okay. Do I get
It has nipples on the suit, I feel.
Oh, that's clean.
I don't think it has nipples.
No?
on the suit. No, it's clean.
Okay.
It's clean, guys.
That's beautiful. Look at you. I see you, bro.
But I love it nonetheless.
That
It
is
looks
for
good.
you.
What does it have?
That is authentic. That is authentic, and that is vintage. So I wouldn't open that. I wouldn't open and play with that. I think it's gonna be.
I never do.
I think it's gonna be worth some money one day.
Yeah. This is
That's
definitely
clean.
going to go on the shelf with everything else that I have. So I greatly appreciate that.
But that is yours, my friend.
Collector Series Special Edition. Yeah, that's not going to happen anywhere else.
And then the second surprise, which I would put that somewhere safe for this second part. We're gonna have a little fun here.
Okay.
And I want you guys to bask in this moment, because I don't know how many times you've done this, and I don't know how many times you'll be able to do this.
We're gonna watch the Bad Gotham series.
Post, no, we're not gonna do that.
Or doing Batman shots.
Oh, are we doing Batman shots, dude?
Torian?
Yes, sir.
Oh goodness, why do I have hundreds and 50s?
What in the absolute?
Is Batman about to come in and
I
whoop
don't-
our
I don't
tails for
understand-
having money
what is-
stolen?
What is this? I don't.
Please tell me you hired somebody to come and whoop our ass as Batman.
Hank, if you can cue this up for us.
I'm holding a stack of 50s and a stack of hundreds.
If you guys know anything about this whole debate, it's been kind of recognized as
counterfeit. Nice.
as something that we can all partake in. If you want to go ahead and pull that up for us, Henry.
Oh, I got a live one here.
Pull up the parade. Pull up the parade. This is a little deep inside baseball. Joker parade.
Is that Prince?
It is Prince.
That was one of the most iconic things about '89 is that Prince produced that entire.
Yep, that first one. Yeah.
soundtrack.
I forgot about that.
To your point, this is, diabolical. The wiener nose.
He's out here honoring your movie, bro.
Oh. Now he's tricking them. What's the 200 for?
Can't remember what the 200 was for.
Ooh, so animated. Give us. What do you want to...
draw them in. You give them the money, man.
Ooh, ooh.
Is that what we're doing?
You are watching The Quezt with Robert Dylan Vasquez. I'm your host, here with my first guest, Robert Kane. Shout out to my moderator, Imprint Jones. And as always, with my co-host, Henry Valentine. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time on The Quezt.
Have a good night and be safe.